Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Friday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. What we learned this week coming up at 10 o'clock. 10:30, Tim May is going to drop by. Going to have a little fun. AP did an all-time 100-year anniversary of the AP All-American team. Buckeyes were well represented. Very well represented on that list. We'll have a little fun with Tim May and that coming up at 10:30. 11 o'clock, we continue with two-a-days. We are in the AFC West. Boy, we are at maximum overload when it comes to Hard Knocks-style series. Hard Knocks is going every week with NFL Films on HBO with the Buffalo Bills. I watched a little of it this week, but wasn't quite as locked in as I was in week one. And then last night, I was bouncing around looking for something to watch, and Chiefs Kingdom was on, which is the story of their year last year. There are so many of these. The Dallas Cowboys doc drops on Tuesday. We have various college football teams that are doing these types of things. We have never had more access than we do now. We have so much of it. And it's all pretty cool. I mean, it was really cool to see Clark Hunt, who I've interviewed many times when he was the owner of the Columbus Crew, and to see him talk about trying to chase down a three-peat and all of that. So it was good. They're all good, but it's a lot of intel to take in there when it comes to the behind-the-scenes stuff. Look, today is decision day for the NCAA. They notified Michigan on their sign-stealing infractions case, and the announcement of the findings and the punishment will be today. CBS Sports is reporting the pending decision expected around noon, of course, could wrap up one of the biggest scandals in recent years. Yeah, I suppose that it is. The football program has been charged with 11 NCAA violations, 6 of level 1 variety, which is the most severe in the eyes of the governing body. Coach Sharon Moore charged with a level 2 violation for deleting a string of text messages with Connor Stallions, which the NCAA had to recover with tracing technology. And in the spring, the University of Michigan gave Moore a 2-year internal suspension, currently scheduled for weeks 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and Nebraska, not weeks 1 and 2. Week 2, they play Oklahoma. I always find that when it comes to the subject of Michigan football and what's happening, if John U. Bacon writes it, it's probably a pretty safe bet that that's in the vicinity of how things are going to go. And he tweeted this out yesterday. The NCAA's investigation into Michigan's sign gate with penalties goes public Friday. My guess throughout this remains fines, more suspended 2 to 4 games, Harbaugh and Stallions show cause, no wins vacated, but the NCAA can do what it likes and often does. I think he's probably on point. That echoes what we've been saying here for, God, Reese, 2 years on this thing. I would be shocked if they get the pound, if a Buckeye fan gets the pound of flesh that you want on this thing. I think it's going to be a slap on the wrist in the eyes of most of us. The number on that fine matters to me. I mean, if it's 10 million, that ain't it. That's not going to do it to me. That's going to leave a lot of people quite upset. To me, 50 feels like that would be punitive. And that I hope that that's something that it is, but I do think fines will be part of it. I think they will get a little bit more than what he is proposing. I could see his current 2-game self-imposed going to 4. That would make sense. Maybe even going to 6. Maybe it's first 6 games of the season, something like that. The Harbaugh Stallion stuff is so hollow. It's just completely hollow, because Connor Stallions is never going to have anything to do with college football again, and maybe that's his biggest punishment. Jim Harbaugh is never coaching college football again. He's the head coach of the LA Chargers. They're really close to building something there. He's 60. Like, he's not coming. He's already won a national title at Michigan. Like, he's Danny Ocean. You're never getting it out of him. The no wins vacated part, we know that because Charlie Baker already said that they're not taking any of that away. They're not taking away the championship. So, and they don't have the authority to because it's not even run by them. So they could potentially take away wins in 2022, but who cares? Does that do anything for you? I don't know. I don't know if it does or not. Maybe it does for some of you. Maybe some of you want those wins vacated. Maybe they'll do that, but my hunch is that they won't. I think that's how it's going to go. And if it's something more severe than that, I'll be pleasantly surprised, but I'm bracing for much of what John Yu reports here, and he tweeted yesterday and stuff we've been saying for, quite honestly, since the last 2 years.
So the report's going to be made public at noon, and then the NCAA is going to hold a Zoom press conference at 1 o'clock. Now, the last time anything, I guess the next time something important happens on a Zoom press conference will likely be the first time something important happens on a Zoom press conference. I think that was a lot of scuttlebutt yesterday on, the NCAA wouldn't hold a press conference unless they're going to really drop the hammer. And you come to find that, it's just going to be a Zoomer, and they're just going to announce the findings. Likely Michigan agrees to everything. I cannot imagine a world where they, this morning, haven't notified Michigan of their findings. The two sides come to the agreement that this is what we're going to be doing with all of this, and then we're going to be moving forward.
I think outwardly they're going to act like they're really pissed off about it, but internally I think they're going to be like, yes. That's what I think.
I am just so glad that whatever it is, hopefully this is over. We're going to talk about it on Monday, probably on this show, because it's going to come out after our show. But we're going to talk about the fans' reaction. Was it enough? This and that. And then we can move forward. Because, Bo, you know that I am so sick of this. And Connor Stallions and Jim Harbaugh are the two main figures in this. And they're going to get nothing. Like, what can they do to Jim Harbaugh? They can give him a show clause penalty. I mean, can they fine him? I don't know. What would make him pay that fine?
Why would he pay it, right?
Is the NFL going to say, Chargers, you're going to need to suspend your head coach for 6 games for stuff he did 3 years ago in Michigan? We just got to have that. Like, the only pound of flesh that maybe we can get on one of those two is if they take Connor Stallion's vacuum business.
It's thriving, man. You can sling those suckers door to door.
Him and Blake
You can't believe
Corum.
how those things suck up the dust.
Goodness gracious. Like, I'm just so glad that whatever it is, it's going to be over after today.
You guys ever have one of those when you were a kid, when the vacuum salesman would come over?
A
remember
what?
that with like your mom? You guys have that?
I don't remember seeing that personally. I remember hearing about it. What were they, like Kirby's?
It's rural.
That they would sell?
No, it was something that definitely happened in rural America.
Okay.
Like, it happened like once every about year, or probably every 18 months or 2 years. A guy would show up at your door, which was always a risk in my house with the setup with my father. But most of the time he was out, and I remember my mom would be there. And the guy'd come in, and all of a sudden he's slinging you a vacuum. And it was, I think, Kirby. I know we bought a couple of them, and there's one with water. But the thing was, the trick of it is he would show up, and then he would vacuum your carpet, and all of a sudden it would look like you were living, quite honestly, like in a pen, like in a pig pen, like just dirt everywhere. You're like, good Lord, that's what we're walking on? That's what we're laying on? It was quite the little presentation, a little Uncle Rico action for you, zipping around in the van and slinging vacuums. Yeah, no, that was a real one. I remember that. Every couple years you'd get one.
Why did we always have milkman jokes but not vacuum cleaner jokes?
I don't know.
Like, why didn't we have the vacuum guy jokes?
I know. And
Milkman's a little sexier.
My middle brother's 6'5", so it was a constant joke in my house. Like,
Oh,
what's
boy.
going on here? What happened, Mom? She did not take kindly to it. God rest her soul. I know you're kidding, but I don't find it funny. Okay.
I remember the Auric XL infomercials.
Yeah.
Like when they did, like, these are hotel quality vacuum cleaners. It's like, well, how could we not have one of those in our house?
Yeah, really sucks it up. The one thing that Buckeye fan will say is, well, the NCAA did punish Terrell Pryor. You remember that? I mean, they did punish him.
And Jim Tressel.
But this was also a different time, and the one thing we know the NCAA cared about more than anything and have held on to the longest is amateurism.
Yes. Yeah.
Cheating, who cares? But
We don't care so much about that. But
you put
damn
salt.
it.
You got salt with that hot dog. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. They do. So brace for it. It'll be this afternoon. Rothman and I still have you all locked in on all of it. But the reality is that I would be shocked if it's anything much more than what John U. Bacon laid out, which is what we've been saying here for 2 years, honestly. But that decision will come sometime this afternoon. Big Saturday, we believe, on campus with the big scrimmage tomorrow as the quarterback decision gets closer and closer. We'll get into some of that. Some Black Stripes lost yesterday at Buckeye camp as well. A couple of Diamond notes. We're off and running on a Friday edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for three things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and it's the Toyota National Sales Event all month long at Toyota West. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of no payments for 90 days, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. No payments for 90 days. Deferred payment. Interest accrued at time of inception with approved credit. Expires 8/31.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor.
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
The trash talk, the bad trade requests, the horrible reaches on draft picks. It's fantasy football time, and the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is giving you a chance to hold your fantasy draft in a fantasy location. On August 24th, host your fantasy draft party at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, which will include a $100 dining credit, draft board, and swag. Visit 971thefan.com and sign up for your fantasy draft party package. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for help.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone, and I've got a public service announcement for your taste buds. The legendary Sanders Bumpy Cake is finally here in Ohio. Yes, that Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. Rich devil's food cake topped with smooth buttercream bumps and smothered in thick chocolatey fudge. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's the dessert you didn't know you needed until now. Perfect for your next barbecue, tailgate, or a family function. And if you've never had one of these, well, trust me, once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Grab your Sanders Bumpy Cake today at Kroger or Meijer and taste what the hype's all about.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Buckeye Roundtable returns Monday, August 25th. Join Paul Keels, Jim Lachey, and Skip Mossick as they break down every aspect of Ohio State football. Oh, and a guy named Ryan Day calls in.
Presented by Burger King.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to increased personal enjoyment. Prevent winter tree damage by scheduling winter tree work now. Winter can be tough on trees. Heavy snow, ice, and wind can cause serious damage. Don't wait until it's too late. Now is the perfect time to schedule winter tree work. Pruning during the dormant season keeps your trees healthy and helps prevent costly storm damage. Visit trees4ohio.org to find a qualified arborist near you. That's trees4ohio.org. Let's keep your trees strong all winter long.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s across central Ohio with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, temperatures right around 70 with mostly clear skies. We'll kick off the weekend on Saturday with a little bit more humidity and a little bit warmer. Plenty of sun and highs in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying. It's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Look, we see in the YouTube stream, hoping that they get punished more. But there's just a couple of factors that have changed so much in a decade on this stuff. Number one, the NCAA isn't as powerful as it used to be. They're not feared. We have a decade of them not being feared. We have a decade of North Carolina basketball, Miami football, Kansas basketball, all saying, yeah, prove it. Auburn football, yeah, prove it. You remember Cam Newton? People forget he was suspended going into the Iron Bowl. People forget that. And then he got reinstated and played. But he was suspended for a while leading into that, but played. So everybody else just said, yeah, prove it. So they're not as powerful as they used to be. It is not good business. And if you're looking for the proof of that, just remember that the commissioner of the Big Ten, Tony Petitti, wrote a letter on their behalf saying it's enough. The boss of the Big Ten, who represents all 18, wrote a letter and said, yeah, we're good. Let's also remember that the television partner needs somebody else to help prop up a noon time slot other than just Ohio State, because they added 4 teams in the West Coast that can't play at noon at home. So they don't want Michigan falling off a cliff. A lot's changed. A lot has changed. And I just think I'm just preparing you. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just preparing you that it's going to be slap on the wrist. I'd be shocked if it was anything other than that. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, they're going to release the report in its entirety at noon and then explain the report at 1 o'clock. So if you really want to kill 90 minutes of your Friday and be angry going into the weekend, do it. Go for it. This is something I think that we've done a pretty good job of just preparing the Ohio State fans. I'll pat ourselves on the back with this. This is going to be something that frustrates everybody. Michigan's going to act like it's a frustrating thing, but behind closed doors, they'll probably be thrilled. And I even think behind closed doors with the NCAA and Michigan, they were, all right, these are what we're going to give you. You accept them. Yes, we do. Thank you. And we're walking.
Do you think it would be satisfying to Buckeye fan if in the report it just says that this was a conspiracy, that Harbaugh knew, that it was organized, that they were all aware that the cheating was going on, does that satisfy? Even if it's not, even if they
that
don't
would
get
almost
spanked,
make it worse.
Does that make it? I don't know. I'm asking. Would it make it better to just be saying, yes, our findings prove that in fact they did cheat on everything. Harbaugh knew about everything, which we all know he did. Does that make it feel better, even if the punishment is $25 million fine, 4-game suspension for Sharon Moore, no games forfeited? Does that satisfy?
Well, I imagine the NCAA in their report has most of that, where they do find the coach culpable. Yeah. They find that there was a lack of institutional control. For sure. And they pat themselves on the back through several pages of the report in their findings, in the strength and veracity of the investigation that's been ongoing since 2023. But I think nothing that comes today will make Ohio State fans feel good about this. And other teams, fans of other teams that were also part of this, like Rutgers, Wisconsin, Michigan State. They're all going to sit there and be like, well, that stinks.
Yeah.
And deservedly so. How you feel today, Buckeye fan, is justified.
I think when that stuff's in the report and it's they were all complicit, they knew this, it's just going to tick Ohio State fans off even more, unless there is a bowl ban and scholarship reductions and a national title vacated.
They're not doing that. I think the only chance, the one chance you have at feeling decent about it is if they hit them with a bowl ban or postseason ban this year. But it would actually, the most punitive I think they could do is give them a postseason ban for next year, because then they would have 2 transfer portals to try to survive, with everybody on that roster knowing they can't play in the postseason in 2026.
Our guy Heron, who is a Michigan fan, and he seems to normally be a pretty level-headed Michigan fan in the YouTube chat, is saying that this is way overblown and advanced scouting is allowed in high school in the NFL. Listen, if Michigan did nothing wrong, why are they self-imposing stuff? Right? Like, why did they say Sharon Moore's going to get a suspension? Why did Harbaugh already get some suspensions, which weren't even for this? No. Like, if it's something, why did they do it then?
When you're trying to argue logic with the Michigan man at this point in regards to this sign-stealing scandal and a great many things, don't. It's the biggest waste of energy you could possibly have.
And by the way, I'm pretty sure he's going to be feeling pretty good about things.
He doesn't already. I mean, they got the national championship.
They won a title.
Like
and listen, we would be the same way, right? Like, we would be sticking up for Ohio State in our school. I get it. But, like, my whole thing is, like, if you didn't do anything wrong, why are you admitting wrong while saying, hey, we're going to impose this suspension?
Yeah. It's crazy how long it's taken. I do think that the reverberations of it will be felt for a while because the NCAA is in this really wild spot right now where they're trying to decide, not even the NCAA, the college, whatever that committee is trying to decide how to police and punish. Like, is that going to have teeth? They're trying to put a corral around NIL. Is it going to have teeth? Are you really going to have an investigative arm that's going to do anything? They haven't done anything in a decade. Like, what? You're going to start now? How are you going to make, like, we're going to go police NIL deals? If they're, are they legitimate or not? Good luck. Good luck with all that. So I do think, like, whatever comes of this today, it could be kind of a harbinger of things to come for others who break whatever rules are trying to be enforced. But my hunch is it won't be much.
Well, moving forward, I was told the CSC is going to be the enforcer in college football. The College Sports Commission. Aren't you familiar with this?
No, I'm not.
And everything that's supposed to be coming out from them, like post July 1, after that House NCAA settlement, the College Sports Commission gets created, and they're the ones with the baseball lawyer that
that's right.
act as judge, jury, and executioner in college athletics now.
If you ran a college football program right now and those guys came to the door, wouldn't you just say, yeah, no, we're good?
I think they're the vacuum salesman, right?
No vacuums here.
We're good.
We got a Dyson. We got one of those Roombas that does it by itself.
What about the one with like the laser guides? Like that's living.
The road.
I think that's the saddest thing of all this is nobody talks about the vacuum business in Wyoming anymore.
God, thriving business. It's
Blake
too far to get
to coach starting businesses.
It's too far to get to a store, man. They bring it to you. It's rural out there, man.
That's my favorite part of this whole story.
That he was slinging vacuums out of Cody, Wyoming.
Well, not just him, but the star running back too.
Yeah, was it Corum?
Yeah, Blake Corum.
Yeah, we're slinging vacuums in Cody, Wyoming. Unbelievable. In terms of guys currently playing college football, a couple of black stripes gone. Bo Jackson, the freshman out of the Cleveland area, loses his. And then we talked about Bo Atkinson yesterday losing the black stripe on his. I think Jackson is someone to watch. That running back room is very interesting. It's very different than it was a year ago. But everything I hear about him is just heaping praise on his talent. So I would not be surprised at all if there was some sort of package for him. I can tell you on the video game that he is consistently threatening to transfer portal. So I don't know what's in the DNA, but every time. So after you play every game, you get a list. You get the box score, and then the next screen that pops up after the box score is players at risk of transfer. So there's usually a list of 3 or 4 guys that are at risk of transfer, and then at the end of the year, you can talk them into staying or not. And his name is constantly. And the reason that he wants to transfer is style of play. He's always a style of play want to transfer guy. And I'm like, what's wrong, man? Like, you're a freshman. Chill out. We're going to get you your touches.
I wonder if that is because I think this goes back to like the cell phone thing where I don't think schools like Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia have some of those issues. Because I do wonder like what school actively after every single game is dealing with 1 or 2 guys that 4 or 5 star players that haven't get the touches. Like, do they have to go and kind of explain away their usage or lack thereof after almost every single game?
I think it happens at Texas A&M. I think it happens at Tennessee. I think it happens.
Texas Tech. It probably will.
Every place out there they might just bury in an oil field if you have any problem with where they're paying you. But I think every place that doesn't have like big tradition, big culture, big all of it, I think it probably happens in those places to a lesser degree, but I think it happens everywhere else. Everywhere else where you have to overpay to get a guy to sign, every team that paid a left tackle $2 million, those are the teams that I'm guessing are constantly getting people coming at them with, I'm going to transfer if I don't do this. So all of them, except for like a handful.
Like the Texas Tech thing screams to me A&M. Like, hey, we bought this recruiting class, and they'll probably buy a recruiting class next year. And then when we look in 5 years, most of those guys are elsewhere.
Well, look, we had Jake Trotter on Wednesday, and we talked about this. Like, all of those Texas schools can be completely engaged in that and as aggressive as can be. And you saw what happened at Kansas with that David Booth $300 million gift, which turns into NIL on a yearly basis. Like, man, that's a massive deal to do something like that. So, yeah, all of those things are going to be problematic at places where you don't have that culture in spades. It's just the way that it's going to go. Is this defensive front going to be good enough for Ohio State this year? Larry Johnson in charge of it. Get his thoughts on some of the depth concerns that may be out there, possible rotation moves, and a big move for Tennessee in the athletic apparel business. We will get into that coming up next, as we're going to be on the docket in 2026. 2 minutes from now, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code $1 for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code $1. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code $1 for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code $1.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion, replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Ready to ride the waves or hit the road for less? Refinance your boat or motorcycle loan with CME and let them try to beat your rate by 1.5% APR. Enjoy no payments for 90 days and rates as low as 6.25% APR. It's never been easier to lower your rate and free up cash. Make the smart move. Refinance with CME today. Terms and conditions apply. Minimum floor rate of 6.25% APR. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Friday edition of the program. Just a couple of weeks from going to be a big one with Texas coming in here. And one of the keys to this thing is going to be the lines of scrimmage. We talked a little bit about the offensive line earlier in the week. Defensive line, obviously replacing Jack and JT. But beyond that, there is some young star power and there is some talent on the edges. The question is the depth there the way that it's been in the past? Larry Johnson, the man in charge of the room, addressed that yesterday.
Lack of depth means that we don't have it. We have depth. Lack of spirit is what we don't have, right? So that's not lack of depth. So you have to build from within. So what we're trying to do is build depth through experience and practice. But the bodies are there. You know, I mean, they just haven't played football. You know, so we have the depth. We have 6 guys I think can go play. We got to get those guys ready to go play. So to me, it's not about building depth. It's kind of get these guys ready to play. So that's a little different than just building.
Who are those 6 guys?
Well, there's guys that work on K-Mac. Those guys are working real hard. Edger's working real hard. Our Jarquez, a young guy. You know, there's a lot of guys start throwing names out. But my thing is that if I can get 6 guys to play as one, we have a good deal. And that's the whole approach, because we don't know who's going to be the ones, who's going to be the 2, who's going to be the 3s. It's all about driving them to understand what it takes to play in that first game. And that's our whole focus. We're not worrying about how many reps they haven't had, how many games they haven't played. The whole idea is to get them ready to play one game, and hope we can carry from there. And so we're pushing the envelope as hard as we can right now.
You know, he talked about that lack of experience. A lot of those guys probably thought they were going to be playing last year, thinking that JT and that Jack would go pro. They didn't, and so they've all had to wait. So while they are inexperienced, they're inexperienced, if that makes sense. Here's Larry Johnson on embracing that.
You know, we're training real hard. You know, I started in the spring, and right now we're doing as much as we can to get them ready. I mean, and that starts in practice. You know, you watch us practice. We're going to go hard. You know, we're going to block this truck. We're going to get off blocks. You know what I mean? I think the mental, to me, it's all mental. It's like what you can handle, what you can do to be great. You know, I mean, we had a question today, like how many guys had an elite practice in the room from yesterday's practice? And that's what I'm gauging. I'm gauging who wants to be elite. Guys who are elite going to stand up. And that's what the challenge right now, that everybody's got to rise together in that room. And that's what we're looking for. And if we do, we got a chance to have a good front. Yeah, we've got some work ahead of us, no doubt about that. But we're embracing that work. We're embracing what's coming. We know what's coming. We're not going to be surprised about it, right? So the only surprise we're going to have is that you're going to say, well, they hadn't played a lot. Well, tough luck now. That's over now. We got to get ready to go play. And so right now, that's what we're doing. We're not embracing the noise outside about not being ready. We got to get ready, and that's it. And I think the kids have done a great job embracing that. And we're pushing as hard as we can in a lot of ways, just mentally, not just football.
I mean, you look at this, and you just pull up the depth chart or the projected depth chart at our lads, and it's all 3- and 4-year guys. I mean, Edric Houston's a sophomore, but other than that, it's all juniors, seniors, redshirt sophomores, true seniors. They brought in Bo Atkinson from North Carolina. I mean, it's inexperienced experience, and it's a lot of guys who if you to a man went up to him and said, were you shocked that you weren't starting last year? Because almost everybody thought Jack and JT would go pro after the 2023 season. They didn't, and so everybody's kind of had to wait. But they're ready. I don't really see any issue here. I do think the C.J. Hicks conversation, if it ever does that pop, I'm curious to see if maybe this is the year for that. But the depth is there, the talent is there, and it's just finally getting to play.
Yeah, when you hear earlier in the week, last week, really throughout camp, guys like Ethan Onyanwa and Philip Daniels having moments of practice where they do really well and then they get thrown into the dirt. I go, good. Like that means that your defensive front is working, every single day to prepare themselves for a game. You're ready for Texas. You'll be ready for every other game on that schedule. Mm-hmm. Like Larry's absolutely right when he says we got to prepare for one game and we got to hope that one game carries us. It damn sure will. If you show up and you hold Texas to enough that you can look at your defensive front and say best in the country, then everything else falls into place for them. And so this is the time of the year, especially with 14? Are we 14 days out? 13 days? 15 days out.
15 days, buddy.
From Texas. Yeah, I think it's only beneficial to keep having that competition continue. You scrimmage Saturday, and then even in the next week, you're still trying to figure out your ones there, because if everybody can go, or if you've got 6-7 guys that can rotate, you're only set up better throughout this season.
I think so many times in these press conferences and the preseason here as they're getting ready, you get so much coach speak. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I have paid attention to, especially this fall camp, is when a coach not asked about a certain player brings up a player, or even a player, because a couple weeks ago you hear Ryan just drop Austin Serveld at left tackle out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, wait a second. And now it's like Austin Serveld's probably the starting left tackle on this team. I heard James Peoples a couple weeks ago drop Philip Daniels' name as somebody who has really come on, and now you're hearing Philip Daniels might be the starting right tackle. And we've talked about the defensive tackle depth a lot, and he was asked about the rotation there, and I believe that was from Dave Biddle who asked that, and he talked about K-Mac and Edric Houston, who we believe are the two starting defensive tackles. And then he drops freshman Jarquez Carter, who none of us have even heard about. And we have heard Will Smith was kind of making a push to be a rotation guy in that defensive tackle spot. We've heard a little bit about Jason Moore. That's the first time I've heard about Jarquez Carter, and he wasn't specifically asked about him. So that makes me think we're going to see that guy play a little bit this year.
Rothman and I used to do an entire show called Translating, well, not a show, a whole hour called Translating Tress. And we did what you just did there. That was our whole show for an hour. Coming out of the Tressel press conference was, what did he really say? And one of the things you got to be really smart about is what Bake was just illuminating you to right there, which is that's the key to it. If someone volunteers a name, player or coach, pay attention to that. That means it's clicking. Those are things to pay attention for. Anybody can ask about a player, and you answer about a player, you say things glowingly. But if they volunteer a player's name, that's when your ears ought to perk up a little bit and go, maybe there's something to that. That's the deal there. I think this room's going to be just fine. I think they're going to be more than fine, and I think there's a lot of guys who are really hungry to play who are finally going to get their opportunity to do so. I saw this story yesterday. Tennessee is going back to Adidas as its apparel provider. Now, they've been with Nike for several years now after a long stretch with Adidas. It's a 10-year deal. It'll take effect next summer in July of 2026. A lot of people in the Tennessee community are not happy with this because Adidas really kind of screwed up their uniforms. They had a very clean uniform look with Nike, and Adidas had kind of some different clunky designs in there. But here's the part that is interesting. Adidas will be providing Tennessee athletes with NIL opportunities throughout the deal. Adidas will immediately start working towards securing NIL deals with Tennessee athletes during the 2025-2026 athletic season. The Volunteers will have access to the Adidas NIL Ambassador Network, which is available to all of the apparel companies' partners. This is all to start in 2026. The first thing I thought about when I saw this was, you remember Darren Peterson, number one basketball player in the country from the Canton area, who played prep school the last 2 years, and Ohio State was trying to get him to play basketball here, and I said he's not going to play here. He's been being paid with Adidas since he was a junior in high school. Like, he's going to go to Adidas school. And where did he sign? Kansas. Guess who's got an Adidas deal?
Is it Darren Peterson in Kansas?
Well, yeah, but also Jeremiah Smith.
And Chris Henry.
Chris Henry Jr. I don't want to talk like that.
I'm just saying, like, this is the war you're going to have to fight, because these shoe companies, these apparel companies are crafty. And what they found here is a workaround. Now, I don't know what that means for, does the school now make less on their apparel deal because Adidas is now contributing to NIL? I don't know. Here's what I know. Ohio State routinely makes the most money from the apparel companies, and they're due for a new contract in 2026. How important is it that this type of language is in there? And then bigger picture, like, we've been a Nike school forever. Like, is that something that you would ever go off of, being a Nike school? I can't imagine Nike would ever let it happen. But that's something to watch for. And to me, this is what you will see is what's happening in basketball to a lesser degree happening in football, where kid signs an apparel deal while playing at IMG, someplace like that, and then goes to a school that is represented by that.
Bo, this could be our bargaining chip to get gray back on the sleeves. Nike, you want to stay? We got to get the gray, or we could be leaving.
I am very cautiously, absurdly cautiously, with an abundance of caution, optimistic. An abundance of caution, optimistic that potentially we could get a school color back on a home sleeve.
Talking about the Adidas deal with Tennessee, it did say that Adidas will immediately start working towards securing NIL deals with Tennessee athletes, and it said that the Volunteers will have access to Adidas's NIL Ambassador Network, which is available to all the apparel companies' partners. So it sounds like maybe Adidas has companies they work with, too, that they might be trying to get these kids deals with.
Sure. I mean, you could do it in some of the other sports. Like Adidas used to have a deal with, was it TaylorMade?
Yeah, I think they used to own TaylorMade for a minute, or whatever company owned all of them together.
Yeah, so there's those type of things that could come into a play in some of the non-revenue sports as well. But I definitely took note of that and kind of a new way of thinking. And with Ohio State coming due in 2020, my guess is we're long the way with Nike to make sure that deal sets the record and all of those things. I can't imagine Ohio State not being Nike. They've been forever. But something to monitor, certainly. Well, this was an interesting evening for the Cleveland Browns, as now potentially not one but two talented players could be into the fold, but not without a little bit of controversy surrounding them. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on eggs. Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are on sale for just $3.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Aaron, I've been thinking. You came up with a new invention? No, I've been pondering a problem. Is it anything I can help you with? I'm not sure. Tell me. I've been thinking about our scuba diving plumbers.
Get Eco.
ECO.
They dive right in and fix the problem. That's the problem. You lost me. The problem with being extremely good at something is that you make it look easy. You're worried that people think plumbing is easy? Well, our extremely very good plumbers sure make it look easy.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Don't worry, Jerry. Sooner or later, most people try to fix their own plumbing problem. I can testify to that. Jerry, did you try to fix it yourself? Yeah. Don't give it another thought, buddy. I'll send somebody over right now.
Get Eco.
ECO.
You're a real friend, Aaron. Eco scuba diving plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Keep your summer fun going in a new Toyota RAV4, America's best-selling SUV. Now through September 2nd, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.99 on RAV4 Hybrid, excludes plugins, or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large big gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large big gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, two separate, neither of these are transactions, but two separate bits of news as it comes to the roster of the Cleveland Browns. Rookie running back Quinshon Judkins won't face a formal misdemeanor battery charge for alleged domestic incident in South Florida last month. Prosecutors declined to pursue charges after reviewing police reports, body-worn camera videos, video surveillance photos, phone records, sworn statement of a woman he allegedly struck. According to a decline memorandum, Judkins was arrested on misdemeanor domestic violence charges in Fort Lauderdale on July 12th. In a statement Thursday, NFL spokesman said the league has been following the developments of the matter, which remain under review. So important to note that even if there isn't anything criminal, the NFL can still put some sort of punishment on it if it chooses to do so. It's also important to note that Quinshon Judkins is not yet signed by the Cleveland Browns. He was one of those second-round picks who has not been signed. My hunch is that he will be, and will be in the mix there in relative short order, and then you'll await if there is further punishment from the National Football League, which will, as we know, will supersede anything in terms of criminal or civil litigation. Go ahead, Vic.
Could this possibly put a kink in his contract, though? Like, because all these are, like, slotted in and everybody around him is signed, but is this something where the Browns may not want to give as much guarantee or as much money because of these issues? Like, could this be a holdup here?
It's a great question. I don't have an answer to it. My hunch is that they would put something like that in there, that there would be some sort of clause about, behavioral or strikes against or so forth and so on. But I wouldn't be able to answer that emphatically. So in addition to that, and then we can kind of talk about all of this because there's a lot to it. And this part, none of us knew. There was a sexual assault case against former Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond, and it has been non-billed, and he faced no further criminal charges. So Isaiah Bond was a big-time recruit. He played 2 years at Alabama, and then when Saban left, he was one of those coveted guys along with our guys. He was there with Seth. He was there with Julian and Caleb as one of those guys that, like, man, can you get your hands on him? And Texas did. So he went to Texas and played last year at Texas. This goes back to an arrest in April on an outstanding sexual assault warrant, was released from the Collin County Jail, posted the bail. He has denied it vehemently on all fronts. And the thing that was kind of interesting about this is right after this came out, he released a statement thanking the Browns on Instagram and indicating his intent to sign with the Cleveland Browns. Now, there has been nothing official from the Browns on that side of it. It's a former first-round pick. I mean, most people thought he was going to be a second-round pick, so from a talent standpoint, that's what he is. These are tricky because I don't know what the rules are on this. You live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty. But at the same time, the counter to that would be where there's smoke, there's fire on this stuff. So the fact that these happened within a couple hours of each other was kind of wild yesterday. From a purely football perspective, and that's a lot, I understand, when you think about what is accused here. From a purely football perspective, Isaiah Bond is a first, second round type talent, and Quinshon Judkins is a first, second round type talent. So that will be injected in, provided they get a contract done with Judkins and provided they eventually do the deal with Isaiah Bond. Talent-wise, it's a massive upgrade. The look of it was interesting to say the least yesterday, that these two things happened relatively close to each other.
And certainly the Browns have had questions about questionable persons that they brought into the building before. And I'll just keep it strictly a football perspective. Those are two positions the Browns need. Yeah. So without having money to sign big-name free agents, this is kind of where Cleveland needs to acquire talent from. The guys that have either been drafted and found themselves in hot water legally, or guys that have been discarded and find themselves in hot water. Just from who is this person's standpoint? I think to Deontay Johnson. Now, similarly, Isaiah Bond. So if, they can clear what I guess would happen with both Bond and Judkins is they wait if the NFL rules on anything. And so I think for Judkins in the contract, you wait to see if the NFL hands down any sort of punishment. And if that is the case, if it's not the case, then after that, I think contract situations come into play. You decide if you want to do that, the Shamar Stewart clause, that if he does something or runs afoul of the law, then you can void any kind of guaranteed money. And then you bring him in and see what can happen with him. And you keep it there. You keep it, all right, can you be a productive member of this football team without any more run-ins?
It is so tricky, right, Bo? And for the Browns, it obviously the optics look bad with these two and the Mike Hall situation and Deshaun Watson. All of this looks bad, but a pro sports team is their objective is to go out and win football games, and they want guys that can help them win football games. And if none of these guys have been criminally charged with anything, it's a very slippery slope. Like Ray Lewis, his whole career played with a possible hit, at a Super Bowl looming in the background, but he was never convicted, never charged of anything. So it's such a slippery slope. The Browns, the PR department is probably going to be working overtime with all of this. And you know what? I don't know, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, how many people care when they see their teams go out and play on a Sunday. It's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yeah. I think that we can, that's the beauty of sport typically, is you can compartmentalize it. And I don't blame you if you can't. Each to their own. But usually that you can. From a strictly football standpoint, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for that roster. I mean, they were banking on Judkins being a big part of it. If they can get him signed and they can get everything cleared, that's a massive shot in the arm for what they need. And the same would true. Isaiah Bond that would be a lottery ticket with him, with a guy who's a second-round pick, talent-wise. Now becoming available, that in that sense is a lottery ticket. So, I don't know when they'll address it or if anything. I mean, I guess the next step is you have to actually sign these two. And as of right now, neither one is. So that will be the next thing to kind of pay attention to, is if either one of those guys gets signed, and if they end up in Berea. That'll be the next step on those type of things. What we learned this week, and an all-time AP All-American team. The Buckeyes represented very, very well on it. We'll have a little bit of fun with that. Tim May at 10:30, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty Ice here for McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. I recently brought a brand new Chevy Trax from McDaniel GM Superstore. It was by far the best car purchase I have ever made. And right now, you can get a 2025 Trax at McDaniel GM Superstore for as low as $20,995. They will treat you like family, just like they treated me like family. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
Hey, my phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without groaning step by step? Hey, that was me. And I had to deal with that from all the years of playing football. But I went and saw my friends over at QC Kinetics, and it disappeared. I didn't have to tough it out anymore. Call over QC Kinetics with Dr. Wolkoff and get your free consultation. It's regenerative medicine, folks. There are thousands of patients who will tell you that they wish they would have done it sooner, just like I did. I'm glad I did, and my experience was tremendous. You go in, you have a consult, they lay out the plan, they talk about it. It's no pills. It's no scalpels. It's just your own body's biologics treating you and helping heal you. So find out if you're a good candidate. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. They have offices all around Central Ohio, so be sure to go and check them out.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Did you know you can donate real estate too?
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY, and when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The NCAA will render a final decision on Michigan football's sign-stealing scandal shortly after noon today. They'll hold a press conference around 1 o'clock to discuss the findings from the investigation that's been ongoing since 2023 and likely explain punishments for 11 NCAA violations, 6 of those the level 1 variety. Actual college football games will be played next Saturday with week 0. In baseball last night, the Guardians beat the Marlins 9-4. Cleveland's only a half game out of an AL wildcard spot. They'll host the Atlanta Braves tonight at 7:10. As for the Reds, Cincinnati's a half game out of an NL wildcard spot. Redlegs will host the Brewers tonight at 6:40. Milwaukee enters the series having won 12 straight. You can hear Reds baseball tonight on The Fan following the Buckeye Show. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Second hour on a Friday, an hour earlier than normal to make way for two-a-days. Time for What We Learned.
We're not trying to do too much around here, but over the course of 5 days, you might have gleaned some stuff. Bishop and Friends present What We've Learned This Week.
Well, in regard to the Buckeyes, very little. We learned that they feel pretty good about their offensive and defensive line depth. We feel pretty good about the talent in both of those situations. But one thing that we thought there was a small chance, I don't think we misled anybody, but we thought that there was a small chance that maybe there would be some sort of quarterback, not decision, but some sort of a lean from Ryan Day this week. We did not get one. So potentially you will get one on Monday. We'll see. I assume this has been another massive week, and I would assume you'd want a quarterback kind of known, if not outwardly, certainly within the team by the end of this weekend, that you kind of say, this is our guy. We're 2 weeks from Texas. Let's go. So we didn't learn a whole lot on that side of things. In terms of quarterbacks, what we learned is that the Cleveland Browns can't catch a break. Shedeur Sanders, coming off of a really incredible performance on a Friday night in a preseason game, goes to Philadelphia for joint practices, is held out with an oblique, and now he's out for a while. Still nothing from Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel has been participating for the last couple of weeks in our 11 on 11. I just heard Nathan Segura, saw that, who of course is on the broadcast, you can hear right here on the Fan, talking about how Gabriel is going to be a game time decision to play in the preseason game on Saturday. If Dylan Gabriel doesn't play, don't play the game. What's the point? Nobody needs to see Snoop Huntley do anything. At that point, what are you getting out of a preseason game if Gabriel's not going to play? So that's something to watch for this week. But their plan for how they were going to handle these quarterbacks has been completely thrown in the air by all of these quarterback injuries that they've incurred.
Yeah, it's incredible when thinking about the Browns and the last 5-6 months. I don't know if we're ever going to truly, feel like what had happened in this preseason. I mean, they're going to win 5 games this season, but the idea that they had a plan that somehow we're just going to bring in 4 quarterbacks, and now you don't know which 4 quarterbacks you're even going to bring into the regular season with you.
Or if you do. Well, with the Pickett injury, I don't know if you will bring 4.
It's baffling. This is really, and again, I've been a Browns fan almost my entire life because they didn't exist for a couple of years. This is as baffling as a preseason as I can ever remember.
I think of the line in Varsity Blues, Tweeter, you take the snaps.
They've made the strangest damn thing even stranger, and it gets stranger every day.
Are we going to see Dylan Sampson running Wildcat
at this point, get Harold Fannin back there for some snaps.
Only the Browns, man. Only the Browns.
So I think this is what I think their plan was. I think their plan was acquire Kenny Pickett, rehabilitate him, see if you can turn him into Sam Darnold, either for you or for somebody else. I think that was their first plan. The next part of that plan was...
For somebody else. That's so Browns.
Or at least... Yeah, because, you could get a 3rd-round pick from him, theoretically. So that type of situation with Pickett. Flacco brought in underneath. Glass breaks, bring in Flacco. We know he can run the offense, and we're good. Okay, fine. They were going to draft, and then they were going to draft a rookie quarterback. And the one that they liked more than anybody, other than Cam Ward, was Dylan Gabriel, so they did that. Then all of a sudden, Shedeur Sanders falls to the 5th round, and you go, well, this is a top 30 NFL talent. Shouldn't we kick the tires on this lottery ticket? And that's how that happened. What they can't control, and which is just dumb bad luck, is a quarterback room that is a mash unit. I mean, when's the last time you saw 2 quarterbacks with hamstrings injuries in camp? I mean, quarterbacks with hamstring injuries, I'll wait. Name them. That doesn't happen, man. Not hammies. Not with 2 guys who aren't, fleeing the pocket and running all the time. This isn't Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. It's not even Josh Allen. That's not it at all. This is pocket stuff that they're predominantly doing. So, the fact that happened, and then on top of it, Shedeur Sanders with an oblique kind of out of nowhere, it just threw everything off path. And now it's pretty clear that Joe Flacco is going to start the opener. And then what I'm interested in is, can Dylan Gabriel do enough to be the 2? In which case, I think you could rethink what that room looks like by the time you get to the opener.
If I'm Deshaun Watson, I might be heading to Germany to visit Kobe's doctors. Maybe I can come back and play. Maybe I can be ready for the opener.
He's saying he's running.
After 2023, when they lost, or I guess it would be 2023 when they lost to the Texans in the divisional round, the Browns tried so hard to not start Joe Flacco in NFL regular season games. And here they are, weeks out from starting Joe Flacco in an NFL regular season game.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of those things where the break glass happened because of the injuries to Pickett. And once that happened, that's the way they were going to go. They were never going to throw, in my opinion, they were never going to throw one of those two rookies out there against that start of the season with Cincinnati, Baltimore, the Packers, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Steelers. I just never thought there was any chance they'd throw a rookie out there.
But what's interesting, is all 32 teams, it feels like, have a completely different approach to the NFL's preseason.
Totally.
Like the Bengals are going to be playing Monday night against the Washington Commanders. And I forget who the Commanders had scheduled for joint practices next week. But yesterday they canceled it, saying, well, we're playing Monday, and then we're playing Friday. Or they might be playing next Saturday for their third preseason game. So, we'll just see y'all on the field that day.
Yeah, so the reason that happened is because the Bengals are playing their starters, so Washington probably said, okay, well, we'll just serve this as our joint practice.
Makes sense.
We don't need to do this anymore. Meantime, the Browns and Eagles did 2 joint practices, ones versus ones, and so you're not going to see anybody in the game on Saturday. They really need Dylan Gabriel to play. They need to see him play. I think the fans need to see him play. I think the team needs to see him play. He's been doing 11 on 11. You can put a simple enough package in for him to where, he won't be having to flee the pocket much. You can do that. I just think, to me, it's just critical, I think, for him to play. I think if he goes another week without playing, it's like, geez, at that point, then you're going to, who can play other than Flacco? Can anybody play? You got to get these guys going a little bit, and he needs some reps, especially coming off of what Shedeur did last week in the preseason opener there. All right, what else you guys got? What else you learned this week?
Well, don't look now, but the Guardians and Reds are only a half a baseball game back.
You got 60
of
seconds.
The respective wild card spots because both New York teams are floundering.
They really are.
With the baffling, how baffling this preseason and offseason has been for the Cleveland Browns is equally baffling. The New York Mets, with the largest payroll in baseball, are on complete fire right now. A case study will be done on the 2025 Mets. You talk about documentaries on Netflix and HBO Max. I'll watch that one. I can't wait for that thing to happen because so much money they've thrown, the New York Metropolitans have, at that roster that stinks.
It's wild, right? $700 million for Soto.
We've talked about it a little bit today in the past couple of days, but I've learned that there's position battles going over on at Ohio State that maybe we weren't paying attention to, right? So much focus has been on the quarterback position with Julian and Lincoln, and then maybe the lack of depth at defensive tackle that we kind of just had an offensive line penciled in. This is the 5 that are starting. And we might have been wrong on that. It sounds like there's a big-time battle going on over at that offensive line because spots are up for grabs, and there is a lot of depth. And I think Ohio State has quite a few good offensive linemen this year, linemen that they could win a national championship with probably. I also think it's interesting that Bo Jackson loses his black stripe so close to the time C.J. Donaldson did. I think Bo Jackson, we're going to see him on the field quite a bit this year. And it's just interesting to hear some of these battles that are going on that, well, maybe this roster isn't as settled as we thought.
I think it speaks to a lot of on the offensive line, it speaks to those guys thrown into the fire last year. You had a bunch of offensive line injuries that all of a sudden came out of nowhere and guys had to play. So when you say, I think we can win a national championship, in some cases we did win a national championship with them, thrown into the fire. So, I come away from that very positively. That there's incredible depth of talent on both lines of scrimmage. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, we also learned just about this Ohio State operation 1,000 weeks in the AP Top 25 poll. All but 20 voters this year are jerks because they robbed us of 1 versus 2 Ohio State and Texas.
Yeah.
We thought there might have been a chance that Penn State would sneak into that 3 spot in the AP Top 25 poll. Texas comes out. This is the top team in the country with 25 first-place votes. Penn State, you got 23. Then Ohio State with 11 at 3. But it still does not make this game on August 30th any more or less exciting because everything everything you want in a game happens in 14 days.
Oh, yeah. And it's still 1 versus 2.
Per the coaches poll.
Per the coaches. Speaking of the Associated Press, they put together an all-time All-American team to commemorate 100 years of AP All-Americans. The Buckeyes are well represented. Should there have been more? If you could swap one out, which one would you? We will get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in OHIO. But the greatest players and coaches of all time live in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you spend your Sundays yelling "Hoo Day" or barking like a dog from your seats in the pound. A trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame should be on every fan's bucket list. Plan your trip at ProFootballHof.com. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion, relive the glory.
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
A legendary story from Frank Robinson's career on this August 15th back in 1960. On this date in the first game of a doubleheader at Crosley Field, Robinson slid hard into third base, colliding with the Braves' Eddie Matthews. And Matthews came up swinging, and Robbie got the worst of it with a bloody nose and an eye almost swollen shut. But Frank came right back in Game 2, hitting a home run and a double, leading the Reds to a 4-0 win. And he robbed Matthews of a hit with a spectacular running catch. Many of his teammates today still reference this game as a testament to Frank's hard-nosed play. All a part of Frank Robinson's Hall of Fame legacy, that August 15th, 1960, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and with football back, Rich is ready to dominate the competition. You can lease the sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $249 a month or finance with 3.99% APR. Upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Lease starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
Other stations in town have started using AI voices. It's because they're cheap and they think you're stupid. Well, we may think you're stupid, but we don't think you're cheap, damn it. We're live and local with real people. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s across central Ohio with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, temperatures right around 70 with mostly clear skies. We'll kick off the weekend on Saturday with a little bit more humidity and a little bit warmer. Plenty of sun and highs in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and is the case, and proudly the case. We are sponsored and brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. A lot of anniversaries, a lot of those top 25 teams with the first 25 years of the century now in the books, and so we've seen a lot of that, and we've had some fun with it this summer. This is the 100th year of the AP All-American team. So this is a century long, and to commemorate it, they put together their all-time AP All-American team. Now, the Big Ten led all conferences with 7 selections, 2 more than the Southeastern Conference, but as one of you note right here, some of that has to do with the fact that we get credit for Nebraska. So that's
finally
a little bit of it. They help the conference.
They do something positive for the Big Ten.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, like if you take the Oklahoma and Texas guys out of the SEC, they would be down a little bit too, because certainly Vince Young did not play in the Southeastern Conference, and he's on the second team.
Be wild if he did.
It really would be. Here are your Buckeyes who are on the list. The first team 100-year AP All-American team at left tackle, Orlando Pace, a 2-time All-American. Jim Parker also was on the first team, guard from 1956. And then at linebacker, Chris Spielman, a 2-time linebacker All-American in 86 and 87. So Spiels is a first-team guy. Second-team Buckeyes, just one of them, just Arch. The 2-time Heisman winner was a 2-time AP All-American in 74 and 75. So he makes the second team. So those are the Buckeyes on the list. Look, you pull up this list, and it's hard to have a whole lot of beef with any of it, right? I do think that it's very possible that, and almost impossible not, to take into account NFL career with some of this stuff as opposed to just college career. But for example, they just followed the college career. Their all-time quarterback on this list is Tim Tebow. He was the first team all-time quarterback. Now, I think they got that right. Tim Tebow won 2 national championships. He won the Heisman. He was a 3-time Heisman finalist and a 4-year player at Florida. I think that makes sense, that he is the all-time college football quarterback. Whatever you may think of him, or if you don't like the way he plays or whatever, or he didn't have the NFL career, fine. But as a college player, I don't know how you could be more comprehensive than Tim Tebow and what he did. So that one I get. The thing that is tough, I mean, the running backs are Barry Sanders and Herschel Walker. You say, well, geez, Arch won the Heisman twice. Herschel probably should have won it twice. Probably should have won it as a freshman in 1980, but they didn't give it to freshmen in that time. And he was a 3-time consensus first-team All-American. Barry Sanders had maybe the greatest, not maybe, he had the greatest running back year in the history of sport. I mean, Barry Sanders last year at Oklahoma State reads like Cy Young's pitching total wins. Like the yards per game will never be touched. Someone, because you play 16 games, will get there. Ashton Genty almost did. But in terms of the yards per game, you're just never going to see anything like it. There is one beef that I do have with this list, and that is, and again, a state school kid, but is 3 more than 2? Is the number 3 more than the number 2?
Oh, I know where you're going here, I think.
Maybe? Slightly.
Yeah. So if you are the only 3-time AP first-team All-American linebacker in the history of the Associated Press All-American teams, I think you probably should make the first or second team. Where the hell's 3s? Where is 3s? Now, he's my guy, but also, like, it stands on its own. Now, I don't know who I want to kick off this thing because it's a who's who.
That's where you have to go with it.
So the first team linebackers are Dick Butkus, Derek Thomas, and Spiels. Those are the first team All-American all-time linebackers. The second team linebackers are Jerry Robinson, who was a 3-timer at UCLA, Brian Bosworth, who was a 2-timer at Oklahoma, and Lawrence Taylor at North Carolina, who was a 1-time first-team All-American. But if it's just on the college stuff, how is 3s not one of the 6? I mean, if you have to pick a Buckeye, I mean, I love Spiels. I love 3s. How do you have Spiels over 3s? 3 is more than 2.
When I looked at this, and obviously looking at it through scarlet and gray colored glasses, the first thing I thought was, I know Barry Sanders is maybe my favorite football player of all time.
Yeah.
Especially favorite football player that's not a Cleveland Brown. But I know that year was great, but Archie is the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner. Like, I feel like Archie has a pretty good argument to be on the first team. On that. The second thing I thought was exactly what you just said, Threes and Spiels. Like, Threes was a three-time All-American.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's tough to not have that guy on here at all. And then the third thing I thought was Tyrann Mathieu as a cornerback on the second team. I know he was pretty good, but I can argue that Sean Springs is the best pure cover corner I've ever seen in college. I mean, people just didn't throw at him his junior and senior year because he was so good. And also, some people around here think Antoine Winfield was better all around as a cornerback, and both of them were two-time All-Americans, if I have that right. I could make an argument for them on that second team.
I did look at the Honey Badger as like kind of that weapon. Like his inclusion was because of how prolific he was as a football player overall. Yeah. It's also interesting. Iowa's got the two punters.
Never change.
Have a day. Troy Taylor, the first teamer in 2023, and then Reggie Roby, who punted for the Hawkeyes in 1981. Truly punter you.
Yeah, absolutely. Champ Bailey, a first-team corner. He was a really good player. He's on the second team on the defensive side of it. Yeah, I mean, I think by and large they get this right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, who could ever comment if Al Broski in 1951 was a legitimate safety at Illinois? I mean, I have no idea.
It's funny that you just mentioned safety because I was thinking something else here that's pretty amazing. Miami has two of the four safeties in this, in Ed Reed and Benny Blades, and you could argue Sean Taylor was better than both of them.
That, if anything, I want to add Sean Taylor.
I think Ed was the better player. Even at Miami, I think Ed Reed was the better player.
Really
good. Yeah. It's hard, too, because, in so many of these things, like Ronnie Lott on the first team, like, of course, like, he's probably the greatest strong safety in the history of the sport. He's a one-time All-American. Like, I think Doss was a two-timer, too. But we can't fill the thing up with Buckeyes.
Doss might have been a three-timer. Definitely a two.
I know he's two for sure, but you're right. He might have been a three-timer. So that's the part that's a little tricky.
So he was a two-time.
Largely, they get it right.
Two first-team All-American in 2000 and 2001, and then he was unanimous All-American in 2002. Mike Doss.
So he was a three-timer too.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. So that's the tricky part. But I mean, what are you going to argue, that he was better than Ed Reed or Ronnie Lott? I don't know. How do you even? You can't fill it with Buckeyes.
Yeah, I don't think he was better than either of those.
You can't. It can't just be all Ohio State players, but it'd be fun to do it. Like 100-year history of Ohio State players would be a pretty good list to put together. They have Brock Bowers as the tight end on the first team. The first team wide receivers are Randy Moss and Larry Fitzgerald.
That's not bad.
It isn't, but it's also not. I mean, there are wide receivers who have won the Heisman. By the way,
those two are the second team.
Where the hell's Travis? Yeah, Desmond Howard and Tim Brown. Where's Travis Hunter? How's Travis Hunter not on as a?
Good question.
Maybe an all-purpose at least, because Tim Brown is an all-purpose on the second. Who was on the?
Johnny Rogers.
Johnny Rogers.
Yeah, I can't speak to that, but it feels like Travis did something no one's ever done. It's a fun list, though. It really is. And I think that the thing that jumps out, and we've had a lot of these conversations this week, the various anniversaries, but with the AP poll coming out and now this AP All-American poll, Notre Dame has the most players all time on the list. Alabama is second. Ohio State is third. Then USC, Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan, Nebraska, Miami, and Florida State. And it's wild that in all of our lifetimes, most of those programs have been relevant. In our lifetime, and let's see, everybody. Yeah, in our lifetime, I mean, 88, all of those teams have won national titles. Reese, maybe not you. When were you born?
90.
90, yeah, so a little bit predating you. But every one of those programs has won a national title. in our time around. So, like, here's a little secret: have talent, will win. If you've had talent for 100 years, you likely still have it. Not a single one of those programs that have had the most AP All-Americans of all time, not a single one of those programs have fallen like off a cliff. Like they're all, I mean, Florida State was undefeated 2 years ago. Miami, are they back? Who knows? But they're spending a lot. They've been in the mix. Nebraska's probably the closest in terms of what its once greatness won. It's been a long time since Nebraska's had a consensus All-American. Last one was probably Ndamukong Suh, is my guess. But still, they had so much good in the bank that they're still sitting there in a pretty sweet spot. So the lesson is, if you've been good in college football historically, you likely still are, in many ways, very good at college football, because the mechanism of it has remained the same through all the changes and all the years. Tim May in 2 minutes on this, among other things. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Coheed and Cambria and Taking Back Sunday. Live in Columbus. Coheed and Cambria and Taking Back Sunday with special guest Foxing Kemba Live Outdoor, Saturday, October 23rd. Get tickets now at AXS.com. Brought to you by Promo West Productions.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Swimming in debt? Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to consolidate your debt. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate for more details.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Friday, 10:30, we'd like to talk to our good buddy Tim May of right here at The Fan and the Tim May Show. You're doing Clay May, too, or is it May Clay?
It's Clay May, even though Clay wants to make it May Clay. But yeah, we've got a new platform, or what do you call it?
I like it.
Post site that's set it up, and it's pretty much going to be the Tim May Show featuring Clay Hall, because he may not be on there all the time and all this kind of stuff. But we're pretty fired up about it.
I love it. Hey,
it's going to be it's going to be professionally produced now.
I love that. I mean, of course it is. There's no other way for the Tim May Show to be produced other than professionally. Hey, buddy, the AP put out their all-time All-American team. It's a first team and it's a second team, and the Buckeyes are well represented. Now, as soon as I give you some names, you're going to go, well, what about this guy, this guy, this guy? And the reality is, obviously, you can't have a whole team full of Buckeyes, so they get 4 of them on the 2 teams. The 3 first team guys are Orlando Pace, Jim Parker, and Chris Spielman. The second team guy is Archie Griffin. If you were to present a case for one Buckeye who should be on one of those first 2 teams but is not, which is the one you would make the case for?
Wait a minute. Who were the 3? It was Orlando,
Jim Parker, and Spielman were first team. Archie was second.
Yeah. Golly, I mean, for example, I always like to say Antoine Winfield is the greatest defensive player I ever covered, pound for pound. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The way he handled himself. golly, man, it's now 100 names flood into my head, and I'm trying to sort them out because.
Well, let me give you something to jump off of.
Randy Gradishar was a hell of a linebacker. Even your buddy Threes acknowledges that. He brings up, he's been introducing these former linebackers to his players this year. I think it's a great thing. You're not the first, and you're not going to be the last. And by the way, look at these dudes. They're in the halls of fame. So I would have Randy Gradishar somewhere represented. Tom Cousineau in his prime was about as good a linebacker as there was. I mean, he was the first player taken, in the NFL draft and the CFL draft. Yep. And he went to the CFL because they paid more money. But
different world, right?
Yeah, those were the days. But, you can make a case. I'm not drawing a blank. I'm drawing the opposite of a blank. I'm drawing more like I've been hit by a shotgun.
Well, let me give you this as a jumping off point then, because let's just stay in the linebacker room for a second, because you covered a lot of these guys. I mean, you covered Chris's entire career. Of all of them, the only one who was a 3-time consensus first-team All-American was James. He was the only one that was 3 times. So in terms of that, in a position that is so talent-rich, because I didn't see Spiels play. I knew him well. I've hosted a lot of radio shows with him, but I didn't see him play. When I say, like, I've seen A.J. Hawk play, I've seen Threes play, obviously, a lot, covered all those guys. But in terms of, like, where does Chris for him to be the one Buckeye linebacker, does that make sense for you?
Yeah, I mean, for all kinds of reasons, because it's if you're talking about Hall of Fame, which is what I'm thinking more along those lines. Chris was about as famous a linebacker that's ever played here. Mm-hmm. And number one. Number two, he was Caleb Downs. I mean, he knew where the play was going sometimes before the offense did. And it was pretty funny talking with, I think it was C.J. Hicks yesterday, but we were talking about how Caleb Downs gets everybody lined up. Mm-hmm. And especially gets their own offense. He knows all the plays. So he's calling out. Imagine trying to run offense against a guy who knows all your plays. And then when they check, he knows what the check is. You know what I mean? So that's where I put Chris Spielman in a very special category, because it was amazing to watch him be there before the play ever got there, so to speak. In his brain, he was there. It didn't mean he always made the play, but Threes was like that, man. Laurinaitis, he wasn't a Butkus Award winner for nothing, for example. And and then Cousineau, man, watching him play, he was just an imposing presence on the field, so much so they ran away from him, and that was back in the day when everybody's running the eye, and you were lining up in a 5-2 for the most part, and your linebackers held sway. The front 5 blocks so the linebackers could make the play. He and that one year, Dave Atkins, I think was his name, he actually led the team in tackles because they ran away from Cousineau so much. But Gradishar, man, was he was sort of, who was that great outside linebacker from Penn State that played for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Jack Ham.
Yeah.
Gradishar reminded me of a Jack Ham kind of player, and you probably didn't see him play either, but
no,
those guys. I was thinking about this the other day. Those mid-'70s Ohio State teams. Even I moved up here to '76, but I was watching them on television. And it was fun to watch them play defense. I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you, but some of those defenses in '73, '74, '75, man. Yeah, they had Archie Griffin as a 2-time Heisman winner, but they had a defense that was just unbelievable.
Is Orlando Pace the best player you ever saw here?
Yes. Period. Next sentence or next question.
Yeah, that's what I tend to. I hear that a lot.
I'll never forget when he comes walking out for his first practice as a freshman, and you're just going. I mean, I'd seen him, I'd talked to him face to face, all that kind of stuff. But when he walked out in his football uniform, you're just going, yeah, you got to be in college at least 3 years to go to the NFL. But some guys don't.
Yeah, right.
When it first struck you that some guys mature faster than others. But Orlando was big from the time he knew what big was, And what stood out about him is he was V-shaped, for want of another term. I don't want to get too graphic, but I mean he just was an athlete, man. I mean, you turn on some of the videos of him leading blocks down the field. I mean, he was like Vrabel and Robert Smith and some of these other guys. He was I like to use a word, indefatigable or indefatigable, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it correct, but he was never fatigued. He was. I mean, he played some defensive line. People don't even remember that. But
oh, really?
But yeah,
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, against Wisconsin, I was talking about this with Katzenmoyer one day. They put him in on goal line against Wisconsin, and I just zeroed in on him as soon as he went in the game. I went, "What's this about?" Mm-hmm. And he blocked the hole open so Katzenmoyer could step up and as a freshman could step up and make the play. You know what I mean? Jeez. I mean, that's taking defense to the offensive side, if you follow my drift.
You said that from when the moment he signed up, you said not everybody needs to be here 3 years. That sounds like the guy we got now. We're in number 4. Because when he got here, it was like, well, he don't need to be here. I'm glad he is. But
here's the thing. I
don't need to be here either.
He doesn't, like Maurice Clarett, I think I saw a quote from him the other day, and he was right. I mean, challenging that rule, remember, when he wanted to go to the NFL after he had to leave college. And then I think he got picked, but then it was denied. The appeals court then denied his challenge of the 3-year rule, but I think Jeremiah Smith, he may get coaxed into it by somebody else, but he doesn't strike me as a guy that gets coaxed into stuff either. I think he really likes where he's at and what he's doing right now. And now we'll see if this year is fun for him like last year. But, a lot of people say, well, now everybody knows who he is. I go, if you didn't know who he was after the first couple of 3 games last year, you weren't paying attention. Texas figured out a way to kind of take him out of the game, or at least in Ohio State's planning, they were able to take him out of the game. If you follow my drift, okay, we're going to feature this because they're going to do this. Sometimes when you got the best player, I mean, I remember asking Cal McCord that, push come to shove, throw it to Marvin, right?
Yes. Yep.
And let him go do his thing. And so we'll see with that added attention. But they've got such a deep wide receiver core. I don't know how you can take one guy out and get burned by the other. Emeka Egbuka, of course, was the torch when it came to that. But I said this on our latest Tim May show, and I was talking to a reporter from 11 Warriors about this. He was just talking about what you expect this year, and he basically was saying who's more valuable, Caleb Downs or Jeremiah Smith. And I just admitted, I said, you know what, Caleb Downs, because with Jeremiah Smith, if he's missing, you've got Parnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, and all these other guys.
Yeah.
With Caleb Downs is so vital to setting up the defense, much less making plays. So, push come to shove, you had to pick one, right? Sophie's choice.
No, I think you made the right one. I'll get you out of here on this one. Do you think
Ryan's choice? Excuse me.
Do you think we will have a quarterback decision from Ryan Day on Monday? Do you think he needs to have a quarterback decision on Monday?
I think, based on the fact I believe he's going to have a fairly extensive scrimmage on Saturday, I'm thinking by the end of the day, Saturday or Sunday, he and his coaches are going to know, okay, this is who we're going with. That, like I keep saying, Bo, that doesn't mean the competition. They don't want the competition to be over, but you do want some settlement there in the sense of it's not just important to the two guys competing. It's important to the guys they're playing with to know, because you've been around football all your life just like I have. The quarterback is the leader of the team, man. He eventually is the leader of the team, and has to grow into some of that aspect. But when the guy's got the ball in his hands on every play, he's very important. So, so I would think they would know. Like Ryan said, they want to reach a decision by the end of this week, and very vital scrimmages coming up. And finally, you got to say, okay, you're not starting from scratch, but who had the best, knowing the job's on the line, who had the best scrimmage, knowing the job is on the line, which tells you a lot about that person, if you follow my drift.
It does. Yeah. Could be a very, very big weekend on campus, to say the least. Great talking to you as always, my friend. Thanks for your time.
Hey, I'm sitting in on Maddie and Ice for 3 hours starting at noon. So if you didn't get enough of me.
Is it you and Maddie for 3 hours?
you get a triple dose on at noon, starting at noon. So
Here,
there you
let
go.
me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Hey, let me tell you something.
I want you to have. I'm going to give you a segment for you guys. You love quarterbacks more than anything. I want your first and second team All-American quarterbacks all time.
All time?
All time. Not now.
Joe Namath and hey, Joe Namath and then who?
Kenny Stabler? Him and the snake?
Stabler, yeah, man, watching him run through the mud against Auburn. I mean, he was both of those guys were ridiculous playmakers with their legs. I mean, Joe Namath, dude, was a tremendous athlete till he got his knee hurt for the first time at Alabama. And then back then, if you tore cartilage or something, they had to open your whole knee up to do, take care of it and stuff. But by the way, Matty Ice, a guy who thinks Hot Tub Memories or something is a better movie than Animal House. I go, you gotta be kidding!
Got to stop
That's
there.
my challenge.
He's too young.
He's too young. He's too, download Animal House and watch it.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Otis, my man.
There he goes. Tim May of the Tim May Show, and right here on the Fan, on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walked down a flight of stairs without having to take your time? You thought to yourself, I'll just tough it out. But nothing changes. Hi, it's Tyvis Powell. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with Dr. Walkoff and his team at QC Kinetics here in Columbus. I'm glad I did. Myself and others have turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. Check it out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure chat and thorough evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mail. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Now's the time to grab a UDF peach shake, malt, cone, or sundae. They're only here for a limited time. UDF Peach Ice Cream, made for you.
Keep your summer fun going in the family-sized Toyota Highlander or the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander with 3 different powertrains and a full-size third row. Now through September 2nd, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.99 APR financing or 5.99 on new Highlander and Grand Highlander hybrids. Subject to approved credit through TFS. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance included. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
It's hot out. Stay in the house and cool yourself with the sweet sounds of The Fan. You can watch on YouTube or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan. It's the equivalent of putting ice cubes down your pants. All right! The Fan.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there.
So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
Hey, my phone.
Oh, your phone. Should've known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone, and I've got a public service announcement for your taste buds. The legendary Sanders Bumpy Cake is finally here in Ohio. Yes, that Sanders Chocolate Fudge Bumpy Cake. Rich devil's food cake topped with smooth buttercream bumps and smothered in thick chocolatey fudge. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's the dessert you didn't know you needed until now. Perfect for your next barbecue, tailgate, or a family function. And if you've never had one of these, well, trust me, once you try it, you're going to be hooked. Grab your Sanders Bumpy Cake today at Kroger or Meijer and taste what the hype's all about.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Friday. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
This may be the first time I won't have to actually ask the question once I present you with the bit of news. ESPN's Pete Thamel reporting sources among Michigan's punishments in the NCAA. Per me and Dan Wetzel, Michigan receives a significant fine, expected to be more than $20 million from loss of postseason football revenue for the next 2 seasons. Michigan coach Sharon Moore is given an additional game suspension, which is expected to take place in 2026. Thing or not a thing?
What have I been? I mean, I have prepared you for this. I mean, a lot of people, they're going to get, no. They were never going to. They're never going to. The other thing being reported in this is Harbaugh, a 10-year show cause, Counter Stallions, 8-year show cause, Denard Robinson, 3-year show cause. So there's you want your pound of flesh, there's your fake pound of flesh. Someone who's never going to coach college football again has a 10-year show cause. Okay, great. How old is Jim Harbaugh? 61, too? You think he's at 70? He's going to, he's coaching the Chargers, man. Coaching the Chargers. And honestly, this is even more feckless than I thought because it's a 20-year fine, according to these reports. It's a $20 million fine over the next 2 seasons, but it's not a fine.
It's not a fine.
It's not a fine. It's them being withheld postseason revenue. They're not being fined at all. They just can't have money. This is less punitive than the ACC punished SMU just for joining their conference. It's less than that. I told you. I've been saying it for 2 years how this was going to go.
I think every team in the country, right? And listen, that Michigan team that won the national championship was a really talented team. It was a really good team. It just may have been the best team in the country that year. But I think, and who knows how much of the sign stealing stuff was going on that year, but I think every team in the country would trade 2 years of postseason revenue and a 3-game suspension for their head coach for a national championship. I think every team in the country would do that.
Of course.
So this is not a thing. The only way this is a thing, right, is now you don't have to pay attention to this press conference later.
Which is a huge thing. Because, boy, I didn't want to spend any time at 1 o'clock on a Zoom press conference with Charlie Baker and what other NCAA stooges trying to tell us that they thought that this was fair because the people that were involved in this are no longer with the university, and how they didn't feel it was in the best interests of college athletics to punish those not involved.
This is also a huge thing for that fanatic Buckeye fan out there that wants nothing more than their pound of flesh for their rival because their rival cheated, and they're not going to get it, and they never were.
And to that point, Ohio State fan that is out there that is apoplectic with this, your feelings are justified in wanting something more from the NCAA. So however you're feeling today, and it's probably a lot of anger, it's justified. It's just maybe place it in a hobby. Like maybe go lift some weights this afternoon or go on a run to kind of get
listen, if you listen to this shouldn't come as a surprise because this is how we've laid this out for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years of telling you what was coming, and it is exactly. I mean, how long have I been calling him Danny Ocean? 2 years, at least. I mean, this was how it was going to go.
Do we want to move our two-a-days talk on the Chargers to another day?
No, I mean, we'll revisit this at the top to reset.
It's so crazy that he was on the verge of getting let go. Got his pay cut in half.
Well, that's when it all started.
Slipped out the door at the perfect time.
Yeah, that's when it all started, was after COVID in 2020 when they ducked us. That's when it all started.
Earlier this week, we'd mentioned that John Gruden said he'd like to coach in college football, specifically in the Southeastern Conference. ESPN's Pete Thamel was a guest on the Pat McAfee Show Thursday. He was asked about that possibility.
Look, there's 136 of these Division I FBS jobs, right? It's a Star Wars bar, right? You go from Miami to Seattle, from Phoenix to Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, right in your neighborhood, Connor. Like, there's a lot in between, right? Marshalls and Western Kentuckys and Arkansas States. I think John Gruden could land somewhere amid that. I would not project him to go to the SEC. I will be amused if
Why not?
Yeah. I think there's just better college coaches available than John Gruden.
Thing or not a thing?
I couldn't disagree more with Pete and agree more with, I believe that was Pat, right? Of course he'll coach in the SEC. If Kentucky runs Mark Stoops, they don't make a call. If Arkansas runs Go Hogs, nice old cold beer, they're not going to call Gruden. Auburn wouldn't call Gruden if it goes south this year for Hugh Freeze. No, Alabama's not going to hire John Gruden, and Georgia isn't. Would Florida hire John Gruden? Florida might. They might.
Auburn and Ole Miss have both hired Hugh Freeze, right?
Right.
I disagree too. Somebody in the SEC would. I would even think a school like Vanderbilt would do it if they thought it could make them win football games. So yeah, I think there's listen, I don't know if Alabama or Georgia would right now, but if he went somewhere else and did well and they needed a coach, sure they would. So, yeah, I think Thamel's wrong on this one.
Isn't he perfect at Arkansas, Auburn, Kentucky, even Florida maybe? But the first three, it's perfect. Like, he's how many years? A dozen years younger than Belichick? You think he can? He does all of the barstool stuff. You think he doesn't going to identify with kids? Kids know who he is. I mean, I think he would be a very good. It's not all. It's mostly being a general manager coach anyway. Like, he would be great on the recruiting as long as he had NIL, and Auburn's got a bunch of money they could throw at NIL if they wanted to. He would Arkansas too. My God, they just gave Coach Cal all that money. They got the Tyson's chicken money, baby. You saw what happened to Costanza. Man. Yeah, we got. All right, let's reset because obviously what we have is the news of the day on the Michigan side of things. So we will reset that story for you in terms of what reportedly has been coming. Here's a hint. It's everything we've been saying for the last 2 years. We've also got two-a-days. We'll get to that as well. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Enjoy hot deals on Meijer brand back-to-school must-haves all season long. Save on breakfast favorites like Meijer Toasted Oats Honey Nut Cereal, select varieties of Meijer pastry treats, Meijer Sweet and Salty Granola Bars, and Meijer Applesauce, each for only $1.79. Save on lunchtime essentials like Meijer Peanut Butter, Meijer Grape Jelly, and Meijer Round Top Bread, just $1.39 each. Saving a good deal more on your favorite Meijer brand must-haves is a good deal better all season long. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Win big at Eldorado Scioto Downs, your Caesars Rewards hotspot. Play over 1,700 hot games. Sip craft brews at Brew Brothers. And dine at Guy Fieri's Trattoria with its famous 68-layer lasagna. Enjoy live music at Vail Bar and harness racing now through September. Experience nonstop thrills where rewards never stop. Must be 21 plus to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver, leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
The dog days of summer are the best days to save at Coughlin Chevrolet. Lease a new 2026 Chevy Equinox, only $259 a month. New 2025 Silverado, lease for $359 a month. See our full inventory at CoughlinChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Coughlin has the car for you.
36-month lease with $39.99 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill, hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. 1 hour from now, the NCAA will release the final report on Michigan's sign-stealing scandal. Their Zoom press conference at 1 o'clock will be a doozy. ESPN's Pete Thamel is reporting Michigan will be fined in excess of $20 million in the form of a loss of postseason revenue for the next 2 seasons. Head coach Sharon Moore will also receive an additional 1-game suspension. He's already suspended 2 games for his involvement in the scandal this season. The Wolverines were charged with 11 NCAA violations, 6 of them the level 1 variety. The Ohio State Buckeyes will hold a scrimmage on Saturday. We'll hear from Ryan Day following practice this coming Monday morning. In baseball, both the Reds and Guardians enter the weekend a half game out of a wild card spot. Cleveland will host Atlanta tonight at 7:10, while Cincinnati welcomes in Milwaukee Friday at 6:40. This update is sponsored by 3D Cabinetry, your go-to for fast, hassle-free service from order to install. With fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets, free consultation at 3dcabinetry.net.
predictions, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
So you heard Reese mention it there in the update. I believe we had this and have had it for a long time, that Michigan was not going to be hit as hard as any of you wanted, certainly not in the vicinity of as hard as perhaps we all think they should have been hit. Some of it is the NCAA is quite honestly feckless. I mean, that's part of it. Another part of it is the new mentality of, yeah, prove it. The other part of it is the business side of it, which is the television partners at Fox can't have Michigan falling off a cliff. And quite honestly, the Big Ten can't have Michigan falling off a cliff. And so when you have the commissioner of the conference writing on your behalf saying, go easy on them, this is what you get. Now, Ross Dellinger does have some of the reporting on this a little bit more specific. 4 years probation for Michigan. My counter to that would be, who's going to make sure that they stay within whatever is prohibited for the next 4 years? Who's investigating that? Who's making sure they walk the straight and narrow? The answer is nobody is, because there is nobody to do it. A $50K fine plus 10% of football team's budget. So how are you going to decide what that budget is? Next, fine equivalent of the loss of 2 postseasons. So that's the one we talked about, but it's not really a fine. They're not fining them $20 million. They're holding postseason television revenue away from them, which will equal around $20 million is the idea here. A fine equivalent the cost of 10% of all football scholarships. This one could be interesting. 25% reduction in football official visits, 14-week prohibition of recruiting communications. Good luck policing that. I'm going to just give something to you guys for perspective. Do you know how long SMU is going without getting any money from the Atlantic Coast Conference? How long they're paying their own way?
Is it at least 2 more seasons?
It's 7 years.
I thought 6 for some reason.
It's 7 years. So if the ACC pays out $30-some million a year, SMU is being withheld $210 million from their conference for something that they did in the 1980s. Essentially, that's what's happened. That SMU can't get money from their conference for 7 years, over $200 million that they will not get based on something that happened. Now, it's not for that, right? Like we all understand, but essentially that's what it's for. SMU is a black sheep of the sport for something that they did in the mid-'80s, and because of that, they're being punished by the ACC and be punished by other conferences before that of not wanting them to be a part of it. Meantime, these guys blatantly cheat. They can talk about a 10-year show cause for Harbaugh. What does he care? He's already robbed the place. He's already got the house in Lake Como. Like he's in the clear, man. You gonna hit him with a 10-year show cause? So what? He's not coaching again in college football anyway. By the way, they're suspending Sharon Moore for another game. Guess what game they're suspending him for?
Not Oklahoma.
Not Oklahoma. He's being suspended for 3 games, the 2 that they're self-imposing, and they're making him be suspended for the opener, but not for the Oklahoma game.
It's what, New Mexico at night?
I wish I could say I'm surprised, but it's everything I knew would happen.
This sucks.
It does, but it's also, and it sucks to read it, and it sucks to try to wrap your head around it. It floors me when I think of the juxtaposition with SMU and what they had to punish for all of those years. And in an era when a lot of teams were doing that, and that's what they got. I think about even what happened to us with Tatgate. I mean, you got a postseason ban. It costs you a national championship. You give me that 2012 team against that Notre Dame team. I'll take my chances with a healthy Braxton Miller. Didn't get a chance. Meantime, these guys get a chance.
I do wonder, as you mentioned about the fines, the official visits, and maybe this will be something that they explain a little bit at 1 o'clock when they do their Zoom press conference, is who's going to be making sure that this all gets done. Like, is it going to be the purview of the NCAA, or is the College Sports Commission going to take over with this? Like, where does enforcement come from?
Typically, in these instances, it falls on the university to police itself. Because, by the way, they are the NCAA.
Yeah.
It's not shocking, but when you hear it, like, even though we've said this was coming, it's kind of like, wow, And it sounds like there's a little bit more than the initial reporting with what you say, the 10% of scholarship.
Yeah, it's a 25%. It's a 14-year prohibition on recruiting communications, a 25% reduction in football official visits. The fine equivalent to the cost of 10% of all football scholarships.
So is that the portion of the $20.2 million?
I think it's that.
So it's probably going to be like $2 million in that or something, which would go to the players.
That's the way it reads to me, Bake.
Listen, we're not happy about this, but this is what we thought was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And when you hear the Big Ten president, Tony Petitti, write a letter on Michigan's behalf, it's like even the Big Ten, who may have been, not just Ohio State, all the teams in the Big Ten were affected by this. When they officially basically say, look, this is enough, we don't care about this, why should the NCAA? If the Big Ten itself doesn't act like they care, why should the NCAA? And at least this is done, right? This has been 3 years of crap. Now it's done and over. Now we can go back, and hopefully Ohio State beats the hell out of them this year.
NCAA PR with this on social. Overwhelming evidence shows impermissible scouting scheme in Michigan football program. You think? No kidding. They've made the entire report public at this point. Ross Dellinger, why didn't Michigan receive a postseason ban or scholarship reductions before this new era of college athletics? It would have, per NCAA findings. The association is now deviating from those penalties, so they even benefit from that. They benefit from that. So I was prepared for it. I feel like we've prepared all of you for it, but I also... It's still, when you just read it out loud, it's a pretty wild conclusion. It really is. And you have people like Stuart Mandel tweeting stuff like, everybody in Ohio mad that it's not an execution. No, dude, we don't want an execution. We just want just penalty. That's all we want. We just want you penalized for what you did. You stole seasons, man.
The panel determined that a postseason ban would unfairly penalize student-athletes for the actions of coaches and staff who are no longer associated with the Michigan football program. Thus, the panel determined a more appropriate penalty is an offsetting financial penalty instead of a 2-year postseason ban.
But the financial penalty isn't. You want to financially penalize them, then do what SMU got from the ACC. And I know the ACC didn't penalize SMU, but if you can get there, it makes sense. Like, give them 3 years without any television revenue from the Big Ten. That's punishing them. That'll do it. No postseason money, but they still get the $70 million a year from the contracts of the television. Who cares about the Harbaugh stuff? Save me. What? He's gonna have a press conference today, or whenever he talks next in Los Angeles, and he's just gonna say, "Yeah, I'm here now." I mean, he's not gonna get into this. What's his punishment on this? It's nothing.
I think it's the one thing we see in sports all the time, right? Like, you are benefited by cheating. Mm-hmm. You've got the Astros. Their penalties will never make up for winning that World Series. The Patriots and the things they did with Deflategate and some of their video stuff, it was never like they won championships out of it. So the penalty is never equal to what happens. So it's just telling everyone, hey, you know what? If you cheat, it's okay. And even if you get it, even if you get the punishment, it's not worth what happens.
And what sucks is we did get the worst of it for Tatgate.
Yeah, this brings back so much PTSD from Tatgate, reading the NCAA's decision, failure to monitor, head coach responsibility, impermissible recruiting, failure to cooperate. Like, all of this just reads like exactly to the Sports Illustrated article of how deep it went. Like,
how deep it went. Yeah.
This is all that. And this is worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's way worse. I mean, this is this kind of says it all. Chris Vanini with this. This is from the NCAA's report. The true scope and scale of the scheme, including the competitive advantages if it conferred, will never be known due to individuals' intentional destruction and withholding of materials and information. They burnt the evidence. And nothing.
I just go back to, like, when you're talking about Ohio State, the NCAA gave a damn about amateurism. I don't think they care about cheating that much, but amateurism, we had to hold on to that as long as we could.
Yeah. It's even when even when you knew it was coming and you were prepared for it, this is it. And I would say the big lesson here is even more that the television companies are running this sport along with those two conference commissioners. And I think that had a big, big, big impact on what happened with Michigan today. That's what I think. I think they said we can't have Michigan fall off a cliff. And we're not having anybody fall off the cliff because we're not postseason banning anymore. We're done with that.
I hope over at the Woody right now, this has lit a fire under Ryan Day and that whole program and just gives them fuel for this whole year.
This is amazing. I don't know. Here's a Pete Thamel thing on this. Connor Stallions called the advanced scouting scheme as both counterintelligence and the KGB. He also admitted to throwing his phone in a pond.
They did nothing wrong, though. We did nothing wrong.
Yeah. Everybody burnt phones. Everybody burnt all the data.
I do think it's fair for Buckeye fans to take a couple of days with this, but I think for the team itself, it's Texas. Texas has to be on the mind. Like, I know Ryan will be asked about this on Monday, but you don't need any extra motivation if you're Ohio State for Michigan. You got to get Texas first, though.
And most of the guys on the team now weren't even here when this was going on. That's how long ago this was. It was known in 2023. Like, the 2023 Michigan game wasn't impacted by it. 2022, yeah, you're sick for C.J. Stroud and those guys. Yeah, it's bad look. Anticipated, but even when you say it out loud, it's pretty crazy. We're gonna knock out two teams in one segment. We'll do the Broncos and we will do the Chargers on two-a-days coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Common Man here. Our friends at Care Heating and Cooling in Lenox are feeling the love. They're doing something extraordinary for Central Ohio families. The Lenox Feel the Love program provides deserving families and individuals with indoor heating and cooling equipment as well as installation at no cost. You can nominate someone who you think is deserving at feelthelove.com. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st. Let's give back to our hometown heroes. Selfless neighbor, maybe who always puts everybody first. Community leaders like teachers, firefighters, and volunteers, or just families facing hard times. Whoever you think is worthy, send a nomination. As of 2024, the Feel the Love program has completed more than 350 installations with help of dealers like Care Heating and Cooling. Our friends at Lenox donate all the equipment, and Care donates the labor and materials, and the installs are done at no cost. Remember, the deadline is August 31st. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until July 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires October 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average, federal insured by NCUA.
Other stations have crappy ratings and they wonder why no one listens. So instead of investing money in local talent, they fire people and plug in AI voices. Gee, real entertainment. Well, all of our dummies are real, damn it. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extra help. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s across central Ohio with plenty of sunshine. And then for tonight, temperatures right around 70 with mostly clear skies. We'll kick off the weekend on Saturday with a little bit more humidity and a little bit warmer. Plenty of sun and highs in the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
This is your daily reminder that Michigan sucks, and they're a bunch of cheating-ass cheaters. I'll be back tomorrow to say it again. The Fan. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And honestly, that's about as perfectly timed. We had that thing with Michigan as the cheaters or the losers playing in here. This is a quote from the NCAA's reporting on Michigan. And if you're just joining us, they got what we said they would be, which was a fine and very little else. And it's not even really a fine. They're just withholding postseason funds. It's not like they have to write a check. But here this goes. It's from the NCAA. Quote, Harbaugh ran a program that was largely dismissive of rules compliance. There was little, if any, emphasis on following the rules. It continues. The NCAA says there were sufficient grounds for a multi-year postseason ban, quote. However, the panel determined that a postseason ban would unfairly penalize student athletes for the actions of coaches and staff who are no longer associated with the Michigan program. Hey, go sit in I'd like the 2012 Ohio State football team to get in a room, and I'd like you to go stand in front of them and tell them that. Tell them that we don't want to unfairly punish those who are no longer associated with the program. Go tell them that. I mean, that's just... Now, they've shifted, obviously. This is a huge shift in the way that they used to do it because it used to be postseason bans and those type of things, and now they're trying to do financial penalties, but this is not nearly significant enough from a financial penalty standpoint. It's not even them having to write a check. They don't even have to do that. It's just withhold. It's not even withholding their television money. It's not.
And it's not as if they need it, they can't call Larry Ellison or they can't call somebody and say, hey, we're short a little bit here this month or for this player. Can you cover? And the Michigan man will.
They're going to make more money from the television deal than Oregon, Washington are going to make who have done nothing wrong because they're both taking discounts to be in the league. We prepared you, but sometimes it's even worse. Joshua Perry, 2012 national champs. You're right, buddy.
I mean, they hang the banner.
Joshua just texted me, 2012 national champs. Yes. Yeah, go tell them. Go tell those guys.
I mean,
tell me you couldn't beat Notre Dame that year? Manti Te'o and the boys?
It's one of those things where we had said that it was going to be something this feckless. But, boy, I was not prepared to feel the way I feel about it.
I was hoping the money would be more sufficient. I knew the postseason ban wouldn't play. I knew that they wouldn't neuter the program because the television partners run the sport, and they have to have them help prop up Big Noon. When the commissioner goes to bat for him, you knew that that's how that was going to go.
Sure.
but I was hopeful that the monetary fine would be significant, and it's just not.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
15 days till Texas. Beat them on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, pretty incentivize anybody else. Do whatever you want. You know?
Here's the thing.
You think Texas wouldn't take that right now? Hey, we're gonna withhold your postseason money the next 2 years, but in exchange, you get to win a national title. Yep, sold.
I do wonder, if Texas or Georgia or Alabama, I'm certainly confident Ohio State looks at a scheme like that and says, no, we're above that. We're going to win on the football field.
Some of those don't.
But Michigan under Jim Harbaugh, clearly even with the sign stealing, with the computer pervert, that they're still trying to figure out how, that factors into all of this. He ran a program that was as dirty as it gets.
This is from the NCAA. Harbaugh ran a program that was largely dismissive of rules compliance.
Yeah.
There was little, if any, emphasis on following the rules. Oh, yeah? Well, you gave him a national championship. So you handed it to him. Well, they didn't, but the sport did. So, all right, let's blast through some two-a-days really quickly. We've got the Broncos and the Chargers.
Let's do the music.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's do Broncos first. Fantasy sleeper. Both these teams, by the way, should be playoff teams. That should be what they aspire to be. And I think both these teams would be pretty good. What do you got? Fantasy sleeper for the Broncos. Let's start with them.
I got the running back that they drafted this year, R.J. Harvey. I know they assigned J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. Dobbins has had some injury history. Mm-hmm. I think Harvey, guy you might want to have on your team.
Yeah, this is, I guess, more of a heart pick, J.K. Dobbins. I want that for him, or at least want those who put faith in him as a fantasy sleeper to reap rewards.
I think Evan Ingram could be a dude. I'm sure he's being drafted relatively high in the tight end room, but he comes over from Jacksonville. To me, feels like he could be a safety blanket for Bo Nix in a pretty big way. All right, do they have the right quarterback in Denver, Bake?
I believe they do, but we just have seen one season of Bo Nix. We'll have to see a little more.
I think so. Yeah, it's still very much wait and see.
I think they do.
They believe in him.
They believe in him. I think they feel like they are locked in. So they certainly think that at the very least.
It seems like the marriage of him and Sean Payton is a good one.
It is. It feels like they see football in a very similar way. Coolest player to ever wear the Broncos uniform?
Well, there's probably one right answer, but I'm not going to go that way. I hated him. I hated the Broncos so much growing up as a Browns fan, but I loved Steve Atwater. Gosh, that guy could hit at safety.
Was it John Elway who you were going to say?
That's probably the right answer, but
I could see how you couldn't say that. I'm going to give you two. I love the Atwater one. I also think Champ Bailey, really, really cool when he was there. And Carl Mecklenburg.
Oh, 77.
77 playing middle linebacker. I mean, that is... You got to be cool to rock us. Double sevens playing middle linebacker.
I hated those Broncos teams more than anything.
For sure. What is this year's team, this Broncos team? I can save some time. They're playoffs team. They should be.
Yeah,
right?
Wild card for sure.
10-7.
Yeah.
Just like last year.
Nice. Yeah. Franchise grade for the Broncos.
I've got them as a B. As much as I hate them, they've been pretty good throughout my lifetime.
Yeah, similar. I gave them a B+.
I think they're A-. I think they're just below Kansas City, but they've got Super Bowl wins. They've been good for a long time, a bunch of different regimes. They went through the ownership change, so now they're flush with cash with all the Walmart money. And I think players love playing there. It's a great fan base, cool brand, all of it. All right, let's do the Chargers really quickly here. Fantasy sleeper for the Chargers. Bake.
Reunited, and it feels so good. I think Keenan Allen is the guy coming back, having that familiarity with Justin Herbert.
I agree with you.
In name alone, Ladd McConkey.
He's going to have a monster season.
He'll have him, yeah. I think Amari and Hampton, those aren't sleepers, but I think those guys will both be, I think Amari and Hampton's going to be a monster for them too. Do they have the right quarterback? I know you have your reservations, Bake, but even you can probably still say that they probably do.
Oh, these are not reservations, Bo. And on my paper, I have if it's fantasy football, yes. If it's a real big game, absolutely not. Justin Herbert's never won anything in his life.
I think so.
Again, steal your girlfriend?
It goes back to Bo Nix with
Justin
Sean
Herbert
Payton.
Flew to town and took your girlfriend.
He's like Rory to me the last 10 years.
I know it.
Like Jim Harbaugh's got tremendous faith in Justin Herbert, so as long as they think he's the guy, yeah.
I think he's a stud. I think he was undone by a really clueless coach first time around, but I think he's a stud, and I think he'll be just fine there. Coolest player ever to wear the Chargers uniforms. They get a lot of them.
So I mentioned earlier that Barry Sanders is probably my favorite non-Brown football player, maybe my favorite of all time. Right behind him is LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, he was cool.
LT was so cool.
Yeah, the cool LT for me.
Junior Seau was
That's a pretty
damn
good
cool,
one.
Wearing the 55 for the Chargers.
Dan Fouts.
I think that's the first football jersey I think I had as a kid was Dan Fouts. I think my mom thought he was cool. So he was an Oregon guy, and Dan Fouts rocking the full beard was pretty cool back in the day. He was basically Marino before Marino. What is this team this year, Bake?
So I'm not as high on them as you are, Bo. I think they'll be fighting for that final wild card spot, but I don't definitely have them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I see them taking a step back, 11-6 a year ago, maybe something like 9-8. They've got the NFC East, the AFC South, and they have a game against the Steelers, which I believe is in prime time. Like, this will be a tough row to hoe for the LA Chargers.
I think they're a playoff team for sure. I think they're going to be in the mix. I think that they're drafting and building it the right way. And whatever I think of Harbaugh as a college coach, he's a pretty good quick fix coach, and I think they'll play well again this year. I think they'll be right in the mix, 11-6, 10-7, something like that. Franchise grade for the Chargers, Bake.
I've got them as a B-. I think the fact that they are in Los Angeles now instead of San Diego is a joke.
Same. Exact same grade, exact same reason why.
I can't, as much as, I mean, they finally begrudgingly went back to the Powder Blues. They play in Los Angeles. They train, they're going to build something in Orange County. Like, those are all things that I enjoy. But how can I have them as even a B when they don't even have a home field and they have no fans? I mean, they have none. Like, what is the, so I think they're a C. And it's largely because of ownership, because they shouldn't be. They should be much higher than that, and their roster's better than that, and they've won quite a bit. So it's just such an awkward thing with their ownership that they don't even own their facility, and they got to pay rent in the facility, and they don't really have any fans in that part of Southern California. So it's just been kind of a wayward franchise for well over a decade now. Get some perspective on the division and the Chargers from Alex Indorf. He joins us in 2 minutes on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit. Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee. It's 93 or free. Guaranteed. Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a Hittrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get smarter on the AFC West and specifically the Chargers as we head out on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Alex Indorf joins us, host of Guilty as Charged podcast and the Bold Beat, of course. Alex, thank you so much for taking the time. Just had some breaking news here locally that affects a lot of the way people think in terms of the penalties with Michigan and Harbaugh, and certainly not going to ask you to weigh in on that. But I am curious if there is, because Harbaugh was hit pretty good, 10-year show cause, all those things, at least on the outside it looks like that. I don't think he's ever going to coach in college again, so I don't think it'll matter. Is this a story at all for the Chargers, for the front office, for ownership? Do they care about any of this at all?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they paid him $15 million a year when they first hired him, knowing a lot of this stuff was coming. So I don't think a 14-year ban affects them, terribly a lot here. Obviously, it'll be, big news for in NCAA circles, but, this was part of, in some sense, why Harbaugh left to go back to the NFL with a lot of stuff impending. So I think they've known a lot of this was coming for a while.
Yeah, for sure. And I totally get that. Will he? I'm just curious, will he be asked about it the next time he's available?
I'm sure it's possible. I mean, last year there were media reporters who asked him, I guess, because there was also, I remember, the show cause ban last year for 4 years. So I think they asked him about that at the time, and he just kind of said, standard, no comment. I'm sure, he also professed, pretty openly about, not cheating, having never, basically putting out a statement that refuted that showcase ban at that time. So I'm sure I'll be asked about it. I doubt, he will be pushed on it much, as opposed to, what's happening in the games for the Chargers at this point. But I wouldn't expect, I guess a imminent answer on a lot of this stuff that'll, I guess, change how certainly Ohio State or Michigan fans are processing this, current ban.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said he's Danny Ocean. That's what I say around here. He won. He stole from all of it. And he's got a great job. He's living his best life in Southern California. In terms of this team that he's in charge of, immediate impact in year one. And now you get a second year of drafts, another year in the system. To me, it feels like a team ready to ascend. Is that the feeling that you have observing what you've seen the first couple of weeks here and just kind of what they've done this offseason?
Yeah, I think this offseason they've done enough, certainly, to push themselves from where they were last year, where obviously the expectation coming into the season was not to be really even a playoff team. I think they pushed themselves certainly where the expectation is to at least compete for the AFC West, even if you can't knock off the Chiefs, getting back to the playoffs again. Certainly some challenges that have been thrown their way early with the Rashawn Slater injury last week to their franchise left tackle, where he'll be out for the season. But I think they still think they certainly have the nucleus intact here with, another draft and, the ability to make the playoffs here with the weapons they've upgraded on offense, as well as bringing back, what was the number one or number two defense in football last year by most metrics.
What is as someone who's observed it, entering this point of his career, what do you guys believe Justin Herbert is, and what do you believe he will be over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert right now is a top 5 quarterback. Obviously, as far as the media discussion of him, it'll always come back to performance in the playoffs, fairly or unfairly with what the Chargers had going into that Houston game. But to me, this is a quarterback who, has put up numbers that are adjacent to what the first 5 years of Peyton Manning were. If you look at touchdowns and passing yards, to me, this is a quarterback who still elevates what the Chargers have. I don't think with many other quarterbacks that the Chargers honestly would have sniffed the playoffs with the roster that they had last year. So to me, the expectation of Herbert is just to, again, continue building. And obviously, once the moment is called on you in the playoffs to, of course, win that game. But to me, my opinion of Herbert, I guess, hasn't really changed in a negative way because of that game. And I do think eventually, whether it's this year or another year, I do believe he will have that playoff breakthrough.
Yeah, and he's just 27, and he really has. Yeah. I give him a lot of credit because he survived and kind of thrived amidst a borderline, just bonkers coaching situation before Harbaugh got there and kind of stabilized things a little bit. And I think to me, this is almost like the second phase of his career, right? Like this is the kind of, you always get that when you draft the rookie quarterback. Like you get that first run where they're on the rookie contracts, then you get the second one. To me, this feels like stage 2 for him.
Yeah, I think that's fair for sure. I think you look at kind of the stability organization-wise that, other quarterbacks in his draft class, I think of obviously like Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, Tua, they've had, kind of the same head coach, largely the same GM and nucleus that have been with them, throughout their whole careers versus, last year was kind of a transition year for Herbert and the whole franchise. So I think that's definitely a good observation as far as like this roster and, the management, of course, being needed to be rebooted last year in a way that, you don't see a lot of rookie quarterbacks go through that early in their career. But of course, there's exceptions and changes last year. Obviously, you had Caleb Williams last year who, had his head coach fired and then replaced with Ben Johnson. So these things happen in the NFL, but I definitely think from the standpoint of head coach and GM that Justin Herbert is now in a better place. But last year and the last 2 years have really been a transition phase of his career, kind of like you noted.
Boy, just weapons. Big offseason of weapons. What are you seeing from Amari and Hampton? What impact can Trey Harris have? And then they bring back Keenan Allen to help as well. So what does that look like these first couple of weeks, just getting all those weapons at his disposal?
Yeah, I think Amari and Hampton's obviously a big upgrade over what they had last year. I think J.K. Dobbins was pretty fine as far as running backs went, but the question with him was always health. He was missed 4 games last year. And I just think the upside with somebody like Hampton is genuinely a lot higher, based off of what he was able to do at UNC. I think the big question for that running back room will obviously be the status of Najee Harris, which has been an off-season storyline, but clearly they trust Hampton to take a lot of the load early on in the season, even if, Najee is not going to be there week 1 versus the Chiefs. And then, like you mentioned, with Trey Harris and Keenan Allen, the big weakness was weapons last year as far as, your 2 outside receivers were Quentin Johnson and DJ Chark in a playoff game against Derek Stingley, which was not optimal if you're trying to be an AFC contender. And so they went and got the weapons that I think they needed. Obviously, you could talk about, future upgrades and, more star talent down the road. Some people wanted them to go after a DK Metcalf or a Devontae Adams this year, but even not using a premium asset like that on the wide receiver room, I think they've done a good job of getting, Trey there, Vlad McConkey, who, had 1,000 yards last year and was one of the best rookie receivers. And then on a pretty, cheap deal after Keenan's year in Chicago, being able to bring him back on a pretty cost-effective contract, I think that's obviously, a plus with the chemistry he already has with Justin Herbert. Even if he hasn't been in this offensive system before, to me, the sky is kind of the limit on what this wide receiver room should be able to accomplish.
Alex, I'll get you out of here on this one, buddy, and greatly appreciate your time. How do you see this division top to bottom as we sit here on the middle of August? What's kind of your pecking order 1 through 4?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are probably still the top dog. Until they're taken out, they have to be considered that team. I think you then have the Broncos and Chargers as sort of fighting for the 2nd and 3rd spots. I think that is kind of the wild card competition that'll go throughout the season. And then even though I have the Raiders at 4, I do think the Raiders in recent years haven't been able to field like competent teams. And I think with Pete Carroll back, a lot of the moves that they made to get Geno Smith, and they have Ashton Genty there, Brock Bowers, even though I do think they're 4th, I think they're a lot closer to the Broncos and that Chargers tier than they have been in recent years.
Alex, great stuff. Thanks for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, there he goes. Alex Indorf, host of Guilty as Charged and Bolt Beat on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. 3 things on a Friday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready. This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on the Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football training camp report.
This report is brought to you statewide by Safe Light Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. Last year, offensive line was a position of much discussion because of injury and players moving around to different positions. New offensive line coach Tyler Bowen is working with that group this season. And certainly it seems as though he's got some depth and some competition to handle things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's, I think a lot of times we look at things very linear. I wouldn't say it's that linear, and that goes back to my first comment. There is some depth, and certainly those 2 guys are a part of it, but we got to start honing in on where guys can help us and play at an elite level. And those are just 2 examples. So I don't know if it's just, a battle between them. I think we've still got ever-evolving battles within the group with guys that can, play tackle, play guard. We can mix things around, but we got to figure out that combination of the best 5 pretty quick.
We'll have more right after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
As this year's offensive line starts to take shape for Ohio State, you can't help but reflect back to the work of Carson Hinsman. 2 years ago, a center, then moved to guard, and injuries and whatnot forced Hinsman last year to move back to the center position.
Yeah, just how blessed I was. Just, continuing to count my blessings. I never thought, that would be the case. I know going into Penn State with Coach Fry, I was like, I know you never played it, but you want to give her a shot. And I was like, shoot, why not? And through that, I couldn't have been more blessed. And then from taking over after Seth got injured, and him being there, still coaching me, not just like taking a back seat and working on his NFL journey, but he really sat back and helped me out, was a blessing as well. Being able to play with guys with 2 first-round picks and 3 All-Americans, and Josh Fryer should have been All-American, so really 4 All-Americans. It was really, such an honor to me to be able to play with those guys. So I've been blessed to play with a lot of really great people.
This is Paul Keels on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal on fresh grapes. Red, green, or black seedless grapes are only $1.77 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
We spent a lot of time talking about these NCAA penalties, which were leaked about 45 minutes ago. The two things that I think jump out to you the most are this quote from the NCAA: Harbaugh ran a program that was largely dismissive of rules compliance. There was little, if any, emphasis on following the rules. This also from the NCAA report. The scope and scale of Stallion's failures to cooperate is one of the more significant and serious failures the committee has seen. What do you think will be the lesson from this? Is it worth it? Yeah. Sure it is. Of course it's worth it. They won. And they got to skate. And unless you want to go coach in college sports again, this isn't going to penalize Jim Harbaugh at all. Not a bit. And they didn't want to punish the kids who are still there, and then they give a feckless financial penalty. Even though I was prepared for it, it still is a staggering thing to say it all out loud. It really is, that this is what comes of it. What do you have in the poll today, Reese?
The Daily Fan poll asks, does Michigan still suck? And we got about 1 million respondents to the Daily Fan poll today, and 100% of you say yes, Michigan still sucks. The actual poll asks, how invested are you in learning Michigan's punishment today for the sign-stealing scandal, of which we know the punishment, the lightest tap on the wrist. 42% say they moderately care. I wonder if knowing what you know now, if that's changed at all, or how many of you would be interested at 1 o'clock in what the NCAA has to say to explain themselves via Zoom press conference.
It wasn't even that. It was so, and I even had this part wrong. I don't think Sharon Moore is going to be suspended for a 2026 game. It's not this year, so he's going to get the 2-gamer this year, and it's going to be the first game of 2026.
So he's not going to Germany with them?
Yeah,
That's
why?
What it is.
That's the opener.
Yeah.
Which why? Like, why not get it all over with next year?
Just be done with all of it. What's the point of it?
What if they go? What if they have a terrible year and Sharon gets canned?
Well,
does that have to go on to the next coach?
I always thought that was
you can't punish him. You can't punish anybody who's not involved.
I think that was always my theory was that was kind of the end game with him, was like he's the perfect guy to be the fall guy. If they need someone, they could easily have it fall at his feet. I mean, like how chesty Stallions was in the Netflix doc, all of it. Like I tried to warn a lot of you, and I was prepared for it, but it's a staggering thing to read how little it is.
It's the unmatched arrogance of the Michigan man.
It really is. Yeah. Forfeiting postseason revenue. Good Lord. Big deal. All right, time for 3 things. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
Number 1 for me, I usually the wife and I usually like to make sure we have one show that we're watching. So the way that our nights work is you have the dinner, you have the time with the kids, and then all of the kids are usually at least headed to bed around 10, and then from 10 to 11 o'clock is kind of our time. I'll talk about those shows, when we're here on the show through the years. I'm to the point now though where it's too much. I have too much to watch. There's so many things, so many series that I'm behind on. Then this Chiefs Kingdom thing, I wasn't anticipate watching that, but I got sucked into that last night of watching them as they were preparing to try to win a third straight Super Bowl. We've got Hard Knocks, which is coming. You got all this football that's coming. Like, it's too much at the wrong time, man. It's an overload of stuff to watch, and I can't even keep up. I might have to go Baker's route and just say forget it and just watch sports.
This is why I don't like getting into shows.
It's too much, man. I don't even know where to begin.
I would say you could begin at 7:10 tonight with some baseball. 6:40, the Reds and the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers in a game you can hear on the Fan following the Buckeye show. But tomorrow, the Sports Saturday Spectacular on the Fan, 10-1. Dane Sanzenbacher and I have a lot to talk about, as he was an Ohio State football player during the time people were asking, how deep did it go?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked yesterday about the BS High documentary, and I got a login and I watched it last night. And so like I said, I remember this more in 2018 when it was Christians of Faith and you first started to hear about it, and you heard about these guys approaching kids in Walmart parking lots and trying to get them to come to this. And then I remember the OHSAA saying, like, these games don't count in the standings and all of this stuff. I didn't really even hear about Bishop Sycamore until after the ESPN debacle, because I had kind of put all of that behind us. And I knew, like, there were some pretty shady things going on with this school, but good gosh, that Roy Johnson is even, like, more shady and brazen than Connor Stallions. I mean, the dude's literally just laughing at all of this, like ruining kids' lives and just laughing about it because he's a greedy son of a, it just, wow. I knew a lot of it, but I was shocked just watching it.
Yeah, it's staggering even when you knew it. It was staggering to watch. Number 2 for me, this is the last weekend before school. School starts on Monday for the boys. If you're curious if they've taken full advantage of their last week, I think the answer to that is, of course, they are. But yeah, it's finally here. The long summer is over and back to school we go. And honestly, we're pretty loaded up this weekend, so it's not going to be a whole lot of relaxing. But nevertheless, this is it. We've made it. They're back, baby.
Just a heads up, if you live in the Tri-Village area, Arlington, Marble Cliff, Grandview, or drive in and around anywhere in that location on Sunday, the Grandview half and quarter marathon takes place Sunday morning. It starts at 7 o'clock. So be careful and plan your Sundays accordingly. And also just be kind to those running out there. Like, please.
Second thing for me, speaking of high school football, this is the last Friday without it. Some schools in the area get underway on Thursday. Most of them kick off their seasons next Friday. Excited that high school football overtime with me and Lee Cochran will be back, ready for that next week. And also a big one for us here on The Fan, our game of the week next Friday night. Bishop Watterson, who won a state title last year in D3, taking on Big Walnut, who was a state semifinalist in D2. And both of those schools bring pretty much everyone back. Should be a doozy to start the season.
I can't wait. I mean, it's going to be here before we know it. We had high school football last night. There was Buford, Georgia against Milton, Georgia last night on ESPN that we were watching for a little bit. So away we go on that side of things. No time for 3 today. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Keep it locked here. Of course, everyone here on The Fan going to be reacting to the Michigan punishment or lack thereof as the afternoon rolls along. We're back Monday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Want to get 30% stronger in just 8 weeks? Then GNC Ant Whey Bollock is your protein. From America's #1 protein powder brand for building strength, Ant Whey Bollock delivers ultra-pure, fast-digesting whey protein packed with 6.2 grams of leucine for faster gains in muscle growth and recovery. If you want more out of every workout, then settle for nothing less than a premium formula that's third-party tested for over 285 banned substances and proven to get you stronger, faster. Go to your local GNC for Whey Bollock and get ready for gains.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands-Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins? And I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-Ins, you just step in and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-Ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids, in all your favorite Skechers styles. Find Skechers Slip-Ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways. From overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing, I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Looking for bold flavors and award-winning spirits? High Bank Distillery is your destination for handcrafted cocktails, locally inspired dishes, and Whiskey War, the nationally recognized whiskey. Stop by their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations this week. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Here's 3 reasons to buy your Blue Jackets ticket plans for the 25-26 season. 1, pick your seat and pick your games. 2, plans start at just 11 games. 3, flexible payment plans. Act now. Visit bluejackets.com/tickets.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage now.